All right, what is going on? How y'all doing out there in Atlanta, Bird Gang Land? These are your boys that you remember from a couple of years ago. A few years ago, we were stuck in a little smaller room on a picnic table.
Humble beginnings of a dynasty.
And man, how we moved up. So,
how you have grown.
I'm here with my boy John Harris. It's your boy Uncle Steve here. Thank you for joining us in Atlanta Bird Gang. I'm also on Uncle Steve's Lounge. For those of you who don't know, I have a YouTube channel. Please, if you don't do anything, I tell people, which is the weirdest thing, is it don't cost you a penny. And you could just go and push on there, get a brother past 1,000 subscribers so we can start getting some content rolling on there and we can get things rolling. How are y'all doing out there? What's going on with you, man? Talk to me. What's been a while since we done this? I try to think, have we done this post-COVID? We did the group thing.
Yeah, we did the group thing.
We did the group thing.
Absolutely. But us one-on-one.
It's been a minute.
Man, it's probably 2 years.
Matter of fact, let's go back and reminisce. Let's reminisce for a second. Last time you and I were together, Matt Ryan was our quarterback.
Yeah.
Dan Quinn was our coach.
Yeah.
And we were looking forward to seeing how our offensive line with Caleb McGarry would prosper in the next couple of years.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's fast forward up to 2022. We on game 2. And we were talking, I think, virtually.
Mm-hmm.
What were your honest thoughts? I know you've broken it down different phases of the game. Tell me your overall thoughts of that first game with the Detroit Lions. And keep it in mind, it's the Detroit Lions before we all get super excited. But what were your overall views of the team that day? Because I don't think I ever heard you say it. I heard you talk about certain people, but overall as a team.
Well, overall, we didn't embarrass ourselves. And no one got hurt. We didn't embarrass ourselves.
Right.
And the quarterbacks and the wide receivers actually surprised me as to how crisp. You know, the game was crisp.
Right.
Game was very crisp.
Right.
It was like, you know, they knew where they were going. Timing was just like that. And this particular year, with the way the offensive line is, you're going to have to get rid of the ball or you're going to have to take off running.
That's true.
Because you don't have no picket fence in front of you. You gotta just like being in the dentist's office. You got some teeth missing.
We had some snagger teeth.
Yeah.
Snagger tooth individuals on the team before. So let's hope that improves tomorrow. If y'all don't know, we're gonna be in Atlanta Bird Gang tomorrow. Myself, Tidy, brother Smitty Smith from Antoine Smitty Smith from Smitty Sports Machine on YouTube. He'll be joining us, and we're going to have a live watch party tomorrow for the first half of the game. We'll let you all get back to what you're doing in the second half. But for the first half of tomorrow's Jets game, well, hopefully we see a little bit of Mariota, a little bit of Ritter, and we'll be seeing what's going on. I just see the Braves. We were sitting over here lamenting them, and it looks like they got 2 runs up here on the board. Let's get to some of these comments right here. No, they ain't tied. They still down 1, 5-4.
Oh, 5-4.
But the young cat is up. Michael Harris is up. Armani, what's going on? Say, now you wait a minute. I've never been invited to Uncle Steve's. Well, the difference is that me and him been going at it for quite a long time. So this is not a this is not a YouTube guy I met along the way.
I'm here under duress.
this is not a YouTube guy. This is John. Me and John been kicking it for quite a while. So I'm sorry, y'all. That's how I roll. Who is this right here? They look like Jimmy Wayne. Talking about, oh Lord, John is still. John, now I did pick him up down at the station down there at the QT, and picked him up, brushed him off. He had a little dark shirt on. It was kind of dirty. I went and put it in the washer. You got an all white shirt on now. See, so don't say I ain't doing that for you.
See this eye roll. See this eye roll. I hope y'all see this eye roll. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. But you know, all that.
Oh man. Who we got in here? Who got? Somebody says John Harris, love it. I know what fan you got there. I don't even see what's going on up there. My brother D is in the house. What's going on, fellas? Y'all keep up. Y'all are awesome. Keep up the good facts. Thank you, sir. We appreciate that. Always here to entertain and do what we do.
And tell them to go on StreamYard. Put your name in so we can see more than just Facebook users.
That helped. And during the year, I know Toddy uses it. I use it. Most of us use it. To his point, when they ask you to sign in for the StreamYard, so that we don't have to keep going back and forth, I have a little setup here that makes it easy to do that. But sometimes it's hard to go back and forth. And I always like to acknowledge everyone who's talking to us along the way. King Richie, what's going on, brother? How you doing, man? Good to see you in the house. Thank you for joining the old timers. All we need is a little rocking chair. We'll be rolling in here. But hey, we doing this thing. Get down here and see. Jimmy said the Mets lost 2, so actually that's kind of good. That's kind of good that they did not. At least we're still at 3, but it would have been nice to pick up a game.
Yeah,
on them. Yeah. But it's plenty of time left, and not only that, the last series against the Mets is here in Atlanta, and it's the last one before. And I think we end the year with the Nationals, so we'll see. Brother Ryan is in the house. Ryan, the historian, is in the house. Ryan, now I'm gonna have to get some money from you, since I'm taking on the large task of having my brother here with me today, because, you know, I'm borrowing him from the bird cage. He told me it was going to be like a 250 feet in order to get his services. So I'm going to look for a Zelle payment for having him on here today. So courtesy of the bird cage. See, you're not hearing about those residuals.
Hey man,
you're not getting that money.
No. Well, you know, it's a pleasure to be on, you know, with Ryan as well as us, you know, because you know we, you know, man, as far back as we go doing this, man, you know, hey, you know, whether it's here, whether it was at work,
at the game,
at the games and things of that sort.
Absolutely.
We've been chopping this thing up for a long, long time. Been on the roller coaster, up, down, sideways, loop de loop.
Listen, and we don't agree. A lot of times. Listen, me and him for the first. Now he was anti-Matt Ryan in the 2012 to 2016 years, so I was kind of like, hey, he's not doing horrific, but this cat right here, he couldn't stand Matt Ryan for anything. And only after 2017 that I started, would you say, see the light?
Yeah.
A little bit, man. I don't want to say he was prophetic, but he kind of called it like I saw it. He kind of called it like I saw it, though.
Yeah. Well, thing is that, excuse me. Ooh,
man. Hey, man. Look, if y'all hear us burping, this A&W root beer and this Coca-Cola
doing the job. It's doing the job.
Absolutely.
Doing the job.
Who is this? That's Charles Speed. What's going on, Charles? How you doing? What's up, my Falcon brothers? Looking forward to the season. Let's rise up. Hey, absolutely, man. We have an opportunity to do something special this year with a new cast of characters. I'm not extremely naive. I put these books here almost on purpose. Look in that book and tell me, what does it say? What does it think the Falcons record's going to be, so you can tell it to everybody when you see it, when you do see it.
This be under the NFL picks?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, okay.
Ryan comes on. Ryan said, that was your doing, not mine. So he's not owning you, man. That's messed up.
Yeah.
Jimmy says, can't go live for 57 days because Facebook flagged the comment I made on Ozuna. But once I'm back on, man, podcast next week with season review. Now, is it still Hallway Confessions? I'm thinking, is that the same one that you had, Jimmy? If not, put your podcast name down here so you can, tell everybody, and we can, keep it live. All right, tell me, read what it says about the Atlanta Falcons and what their potential is. Read it for me.
Now I'm looking at this dartboard.
Oh, yeah.
What you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay, now it says wrong one. Marcus Mariota gets another shot, but he couldn't stay on the field when he had his first opportunity.
Out of the 4 teams on there, what place does it have us in?
We are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th from the bottom. From the bottom.
There is no one having faith in the Atlanta Falcons this year except Atlanta Falcon fans. So, we have to just double down on getting things together this year. I'm going to sneak through a couple of these comments right quick, and then we're going to go through here. Who's that? Twan, what's happening? I'm ready to watch us play tomorrow. I've been hearing good things all week about how our team held up against the Jets. Again, I know it's preseason, but I like to hear that we've been doing good. And I'm kind of one of those people that are encouraged again by performances in preseason, and more importantly, not getting hurt.
Right.
But I always go back to what you say. And preseason is kind of on paper. So I always steal your line, but your line is take it off the paper,
put it on the field.
Put it on the field. And I've stolen that for almost 6-7 years. And he writes it on but it's true. Now, don't get me wrong. It's exciting to see our quarterback escape or pass rush.
Especially that particular one.
Man,
because that man, when the linebacker jumped in that gap,
right?
When he jumped in that gap, you knew it was coming.
Absolutely.
You knew it was coming.
Absolutely.
And to be able to escape the way that Mariota was able to escape, man, he saved his life for the rest of the regular season. He really did. He saved his own life, man.
But don't you think that's a different energy, though? I mean, don't you think to this fan base, without being taboo and going back to number 7, which I know everybody wants to do, I'm not even worried about those days. I'm talking about today's NFL, and for all you about to throw up, but a mobile quarterback had won the Super Bowl. Yeah, I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about today's NFL. Who are the most successful quarterbacks right now that you talk about?
Well, it's the mobile quarterback. But see, this is the thing. A mobile quarterback has won the Super Bowl many doggone times.
Aaron Rodgers is an athletic mobile quarterback. Patrick Mahomes is an athletic mobile quarterback.
There are times I keep trying to tell people. There are times that the offensive line is not going to pick up everybody.
Right.
Every quarterback gets sacked.
Right.
Every quarterback gets sacked.
Even Tom Brady.
Tom Brady gets sacked.
Absolutely.
But the thing is that you got to be able to get out from back there. You got to be able to get out from back there and not just fold up in the ball when the rush comes.
Did you see the highlight of Matt? Look, man, I'm trying to tell y'all. He is being controlled. I don't know what's wrong with him. I had to drug test him because normally he would have gone all in on that already. But I'm telling y'all,
I'm letting y'all bring it up.
He was talking about this stuff all the time. But I don't even want to fill his head up that head because it's early. Ryan says he is still anti-Matt. So let me ask this. do you respect Matt Ryan?
Oh, I respect it. I definitely respect it.
So
and what he did for the franchise.
So that's all we can ask.
Now the thing, this is where people get confused. Okay, if you are climbing a ladder,
okay,
the top is your goal.
Right.
Now, if you go up one rung and then drop back down a rung,
right,
then go up 2 rungs, then drop back down 3,
right.
When you ever get up here? Once you pass a certain point, you're not supposed to look back. Once you get, you win the division.
Got it.
You win the conference.
Got it.
You go to the Super Bowl.
Got it.
Year after year after year. Now, if you win the division and don't even qualify for the playoffs the next year, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to accept that? No.
It's fair.
No, you can't accept that.
No.
Once you pass by this way, hey, I'm looking for you to go to the next level. Right. You know, just like the Hawks. Right. All right, Hawks. Now it's unfair. Right. It might be selfish, whatever.
Right.
But you went to the Eastern Conference Finals. I at least want to see that the next year. I at least want to see you in the Eastern Conference Finals the very next year. Okay, if you don't make it, you've backslid as far as I'm concerned. Whatever reason it was, but the team still backslid. All right. Here we are, and Trae Young didn't help the situation by talking about, we need to go on to the postseason. Oh, this is boring.
From the moment he said
he said
that, that lets you know his mentality at that time.
Yeah.
Transferring that back to the Falcons. So I'm going to 2016, and I'm sorry, folks. It's history. That's where we are.
It's history.
I'm not saying this to bring it up for the millionth time for us to go over plays and stuff like that, but it's true what he's saying. So Matt Ryan's ascent, which me and this man bumped heads. I don't know how we coexist, but we coexisted, but bumped heads.
Russia in the United States. He got nukes and I got nukes. Hey, brother.
But that ascent from 2008, you said it about going up the ladder. So by the time you get to 2016, and at that time, Matt is what, 31? 31? Your
clock ticking.
Let's put it this way. Is it fair to at least, I don't want to disregard it. 2017, our defense actually showed up as a unit, not with sack numbers and things like that. So we made the playoffs. We won a playoff game, arguably should have won the game against Philadelphia. So I'm going to combine 2016 and 17 to kind of be fair, because at least they did make it one rung from what they did. But to John's point, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, and to hear people, when we got rid of Matt, you would have thought we were getting rid of Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, and for all the people though, Aaron Rodgers hadn't done that, but you know what Aaron Rodgers does? He at least made the playoffs, and they at least have him in the conversation for the last 10 years.
He has a shot. He's made it to where he has a shot.
Absolutely.
And you can talk about Aaron Rodgers because of the fact that he hasn't gotten over the hump.
But he gets there.
He gets to a position where, because playoffs, championships, qualification to go to championships.
Right.
Sometimes it's not the Jimmys and the Joes. Sometimes it's the X's and the O's.
That's true.
And the gray matter up here, you make one mistake, championship gone. You know, just like your boys, New Orleans Saints, in that Minnesota Vikings game. One mistake,
one whiff of a tackle,
where you clean out both people, and the man runs down the sideline wide open with ball up in his hand.
That's actually a really good example. That's actually a really good example.
I mean, one mistake.
They played a great game on the road, and all he had to do was tackle him right there. They had no timeouts. They had nothing. So to your point, one play can determine your fate.
Yep.
And unfortunately for the Falcons, well, we can name numerous plays that February in Houston, but since then, there has been we haven't even had the opportunity to go back and compete in the playoffs. And I think that's where fans like John, like myself, and other folks, it's a stagnant. You don't want to be stagnant. The NFL, what would you say the NFL cycle goes in? About 4 years, where you have teams that are the really good teams. Like if you have a phase, with the exception of New England is on something different.
Yeah.
But what would you say the cycle of a good team and a couple of, what did you say, about 3 or 4 years?
At the very most.
Okay.
At the very most, 3 or 4 years, because see, all right, San Francisco, you remember the dynasties of the 80s and 90s?
Right, of course.
Where San Francisco and Dallas.
Right.
Okay.
A little bit of Giants.
A little bit of Giants sprinkled in. Redskins got in there, from the NFC.
Right.
AFC, you had Denver. During that time, you had Denver, you had Buffalo. Who else? They're probably Denver and Buffalo, because see, now they went 4 times. Well, Buffalo went 4 times straight.
Right.
Denver scattered there.
Right.
But the thing is that people start getting old.
Right.
People start getting traded. Contracts start getting expensive, and then you've got to plug those holes back in.
Right.
Where you had a championship team already built and made for the time that you actually went. Okay. They go away. San Francisco just getting back under Shanahan. Just getting back under Shanahan.
They had a brief spot with Kaepernick.
Yeah.
Because the year 2012. They had a brief little 2-3 year run.
That's right.
In fairness. But
you're right.
After that is
the thing is they left the map.
Yeah.
They left the map.
Yeah.
Dallas. Hey man, Dallas,
I still don't have faith in Dallas yet.
Stephen A. Smith, man, I mean, he just makes a living off of roasting them because of the fact that Cowboys don't do what Cowboys do.
And let's face it, last 10, 15 years, we've been better than Dallas.
Yeah.
Go look it up. Don't argue with me if you're a Cowboy fan. Go look it up. We're gonna catch up with a couple of these calls, a couple of the things. And if anybody wants to drop in, let me know. I'll send you a link real quick. We can hook you up on here to talk for a short period of time. Who is this? Said we need you guys on 92.9. Who do you guys think y'all should be called? Oh
man, I mean,
Gray Matter.
Yeah,
Gray Matter. Gray Matter.
It ain't bad.
But see, I'm not ashamed of having some old school knowledge. That's what makes this guy listenable to, if that's a word, because you're gonna get a comparison between then and now. And don't get me wrong, we'll get it back to now, but at least I know he knows the history of the team and knows those intricate details about certain things. And that's why I love coming on here with him, because I know we can always match it up and catch up with that stuff. Dre, what's going on? Dre, listening to us on Uncle Steve's Lounge. Appreciate you, my brother. Appreciate you. Jimmy Wayne says it's the same podcast, which is Hallway Conversations with the Masses. I thought that's what it was. I am subscribed to that, so that's why I'm always able to do that. Jimmy says, I like the offense, need to see better run defense and pass coverage this week. I would like to, because Dean Pease made the statement that he hadn't unleashed his defense. And this year he's going to unleash it. Well,
I'm waiting.
I'm waiting. Because that first drive, come on now. And let me, before the football heads come in, we know they're not going to show everything they're going to do defensively in the first game.
Okay. But see, now you're right.
Yeah.
But why does New England do that?
That's true.
Why New England do it? Because one thing that I liked about Belichick,
right?
I don't care what you see in preseason. I got something else for you. Game 1, game 2, game 3, game 4.
You could have 17 and 3, 20 different game plans for everything.
And y'all professionals, you're supposed to be paying this stuff. I used to hear it all the time with Mike Smith. Well, we ain't gonna hold the offense because we don't want them to see what's going on.
Hold on a second. You ain't gonna sit here and talk about my favorite coach. Tell you right now.
Yeah,
we're gonna kick you out the house.
Well, look here. I'll go. I'll go. Because you know I'm telling the truth. Because see, I mean, look, a lot of teams have that.
I need to have an explosive offense. And listen, I'm not going to ever dog Mike Smith. Mike Smith got a picture with my son when he was 4 years old. I need to pull that picture up. The first year they had an open, and this was back before the social media blew up and stuff like that. Their first year in 2008.
Right.
All these autographs. My wife went to a little one-on-one thing with got pictures with Vic Fenner and Keon Carpenter, bless his soul, all them other cats. And Mike Smith came to my son on the sideline. Hey, young man, let me pick him up. Now, he didn't know that just because he was 40 inches to me, he didn't pack 110. and he lifted him up. I got it. So I ain't gonna hear no stuff talk about my favorite coach.
Steve,
you leave my coach alone.
Now, Steve, he's a fine fella.
But he never got another job.
But
so it is what it is.
And that's another thing, Steve. That's another thing. These players and these people, they good people.
Yeah.
They good people.
I love Mike Smith, and I'm for real. He is my favorite.
Because see, I took a picture with and man, I don't know where I lost that. But I had a picture with me and Dan Reeves because Dan Reeves and Jeff Hullinger used to have a show at $3 Cafe on Roswell Road every Monday night.
Okay.
And I'm trying to think whether this was 680 The Fan or 790 The Zone.
Probably 790 The Zone back then. Because remember, 680, they weren't. They had Maxim Morgan, and they weren't as.
Well, what happened was that 680 was the Falcons' flagship for a minute.
That's true.
680 was
when Hullinger and Van Note
used
to do the games.
Yeah. Now, and I took a picture down there at $3 Cafe because me and Dan Reed used to go at it. Me and him used to go at it about the playbook, what was going on, various things, and we just got to be real good friends. We got to be real good friends, and even though he was a fine fella, I wanted him fired. And I've said this many different times, I was thinking that once we had another coach here, that it was going to improve. But the Mara and the rest of them, man, they were some of the worst people to come here and take over that team after Dan Reeves left.
Except Smitty. Smitty won 5 years in a row. And I'm sorry, in the Atlanta Falcons franchise, I ain't talking about for other franchise, but in the Atlanta Falcons franchise, to have 5 straight years of winning football. But I do give love to Dan Quinn. And when he's talking about, for all of you youngsters that didn't know, or if you haven't paid attention, this is the infamous Pastor John John from Union City that gives Chuckery. I saw Chuckery the other day when we were
when y'all went up,
we went up there to the practice. He was over there.
I ran into a whole bunch of the 680 crew. John Michaels used to be.
I like John. John Michaels.
Yeah, and he told me a lot of stuff that was going on behind the scenes when they were the flagship station.
I believe it.
You had people listening in and trying to make sure that they didn't talk about this and all that type of stuff. And that's when I found out that Falcons, the Bird game,
right?
Falcons are in here.
I believe it.
Falcons are in here in the Bird game. They are listening to the radio.
Oh,
they're listening to the things that we saying.
Of course.
Matter of fact, I talked to Hulk yesterday.
Yeah.
He called me yesterday, and he was telling me that he and Terry Fontenot were on the same plane 2 times. And on the way back from Mexico, they sat down and talked turkey. They talked Falcons.
I'm glad you mentioned that, and I'm gonna mention that in a second. I'm gonna try to catch up real quick. I love that y'all comment, and I want to keep some of the comments up so we can address some of these. But I'm gonna tell you about my Terry conversation on Monday with him. Who is this? Josh Allen killed us by himself last year. Mobile quarterback. Trying to give credit. That's Genovinci. What's going on, man? He did kill us last year. Remember, he threw those interceptions early, but then came back and got us in the end. What's going on, False Start Falcon? What's going on, brother? Good to see you in the house. I think this looks like Brother Clayton. What's going on, Clayton? Says, what's up, Steve and John? Yes, it's preseason. Another, the league itself holding back from hits for minimum injuries. But after last week, I want to see sacks from the defense and them running backs not stopping after they went through the hole. That pause gives the defense the tackle easier when you can get 4 to 5 yards. Clayton makes a point. I think some players try to do that. What's my man in Pittsburgh?
Tomlin?
No, running back. Le'Veon Bell. Remember how he used to follow his block? He was very particular. He would literally follow the blocks all the way in. Clayton, I'm almost wondering if they were trying to emulate that, but I've never seen anybody do it as well as Le'Veon in recent years.
Was Mike Davis doing that last year?
Well, the problem is you also have to have the speed to once you get to see the problem. When Le'Veon would put his hand on that offensive lineman, he would have the 4.4 speed to hit that hole. Yeah. Mike Davis, God bless his soul, because he got another job in Baltimore, so I got to dog him out. But Mike Davis didn't have that because I know he's a local kid, and I know he was Stevenson High, and I get it, folks, but that's just not.
Now, Steve.
I'm being nice, man. To your point, local people, they might be, they might.
I don't have no problem with it. But whose hand did you have your hand in? Whose back did you have your hand in?
This is true. If it wasn't Chris Lindstrom, he probably was barking up the wrong tree.
Who doggone hands, man?
Even though they did improve a little bit last year. And let's face it, last week I saw some good little gashing. Algiers, I really want to see some more of that young man.
Yeah.
Because he looked like and he impressed me more on that last touchdown that Ritter got. Did you see that block?
Yeah, I saw him pick that block.
Pick up that block.
Pick it up. Yeah.
And I'm telling you, that right there to me, and not to say he wasn't going to have a roster spot anyway, but that's something you want to start looking at to say that young man might need to be in some packages in the real game, really not to take people's place, but to have some packages with him inside. If he's blocking like that, that's what I need.
If he's turning people over like that, man, you can't keep him out.
Absolutely.
You can't keep him out.
Dre says, my feeling about that Super Bowl is if Trufant is playing in that game would have been different hands down. That could be true. That could be, but okay, it's going to be a test for Rodgers this year. Who does he have to throw to? He only has one running back coming back this year. But you know what? Aaron Rodgers is also has made sugar out of other stuff. So yes.
Now, if you want to see the example of a quarterback making a receiver core better, Aaron
Rodgers is one of them.
Aaron Rodgers is it. Because he gonna put it on you. He gonna put it on you. You better catch it.
Devontae Adams, I'm here to tell y'all, will not have 18 touchdowns with Derek Carr next year. He won't. And he's a good receiver, but it took. You know, Devontae Adams was playing on that against the championship game in 2016. He was on the roster.
Oh, he was.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. It's not like not like Devontae Adams was this prodigy because he couldn't pass Jordy Nelson, and he couldn't even get more time than the tight end Jared Cook. Mm-hmm. So he's right. Aaron Rodgers makes plays.
Makes wide receivers.
He makes wide receivers.
Because you remember, I think matter of fact, it was 2016. Mm-hmm. Was it 2016, 2015? What year? Wasn't that 2016 where they had the replacement referees in the first part of the season?
I think that might have been.
I think it was because the thing was
that would have been our year. It's 2016.
Yeah.
Was it?
Or was it 20?
It might have been right before that.
Or was it 2012? Because I think Green Bay lost that game.
The Hail Mary. Yeah. The Hail Mary. Because after that game, they settled with the referees. They settled and brought them in.
And the thing was, Green Bay lost that game on that Hail Mary because of a bad call
from the referee. Because the other guy literally had the ball.
Because it was Green Bay and Seattle.
It was Green Bay and Seattle. They threw the ball up. The Green Bay guy literally had the ball, and the Seattle guy took it from him. Yeah. And the referees missed that play. And that particular, which was great for the real referees, because they were sitting back in the back saying, "Oh yeah, we about to get paid now." And that's exactly what happened. After that week, they came back, and it was all good.
And last year, looked like the replacements came back.
Look who this is trying to dog you out. Codre said, and I quote, "You can't blame Matt Ryan on everything. It starts with the GM and the coach. Our GM had a whole lot of bad draft picks. Most of them not in the league anymore." And to that, your rebut is,
he right.
He
right.
He right. I'll blame him.
Now, cause see, you know why he right? Because I told him.
Yeah.
I told him.
Coach, you need to go back to work. Stop getting over here.
But you know, seriously.
Right.
You remember I was telling you about Peter Combs.
True.
Now, I tell you about Peter Combs. Yeah. Now, I mean,
the great second round pick.
Yeah. I mean, the man hit Peter Combs, and the game was on Channel 2. Right. I switched to Channel 46, and he fell at the weatherman's feet down there at Channel 46 because he had knocked him completely off the TV.
Off the screen.
He was off the screen. I said, "Good God, son, get your stuff and get out."
So hold on. This is a marked moment. It's 5:21 on Sunday, August 21st. Was that a complimentary comment to Matt Ryan that you made? Hold on. Let me push record. Hold on.
No. See, absolution of guilt is not complimentary. It's just you not guilty.
Right.
You are free.
So in other words, Char has changed his stripes. He's a Matt Ryan fan. I got an autographed Matt Ryan jersey right here that I'm sitting at home with him that he won for that comment.
He had the doggone sit up here and put this thing. Got this.
And I need his space, man. Be quiet.
Okay. All right.
Oh man, who is this right here? Say, what's up, Steve? Big Dog John. Let me see who that is telling us, hey, so we can give credit to that. That is Robin. What's going on, Robin? Good to see you in the house. Joining the gray matter in here. DeMarcus say, Uncle Hell. Now he brings out. And most of the time, for real, I'm mostly calm and kind of cool. But this dude right here, man, He pushed my buttons. He pushed the buttons every time. It just don't be trying to.
What all do you want this shot in?
Don't be trying to stab nobody. Y'all see he stabbed. But look, the good thing is this on TV. Hey, he tried to stab me.
You need a shot.
Oh man. Who we got right here? What's up, Falcons family? That is Shy Boogie. Man, I ain't seen you in a minute. Shy, what's going on, brother? Come on and join us in here and talk this stuff. Dre says, I expect more out of Kyle this year. Rookie year, 1,000 yards, 1 touchdown. And his first touchdown is not on American playing field. Yeah, I think I think it's common knowledge that we're going to get him more red zone targets when we get in there. I don't think it's anything. I don't think we're breaking any news by saying he's going to be a target.
No,
and I don't
he better be a target.
Which is weird to me that your buddy Matt Ryan didn't give him any more targets. I mean, I don't understand. And last year, arguably one of his worst statistical years since in the last 6-7 years, that he didn't look for him.
Thing is, from what I was seeing last year on the sidelines, hearing in the paper, hearing on television, is that Arthur Smith was trying to coach him.
I believe it.
Arthur Smith,
and
Arthur Smith said that Matt Ryan wants to be coached. You need to coach him. I'm going to coach him. And he was, with the arguments that they were having,
right?
Because see, I ain't never, during all the time that Matt Ryan has been here, from 2008 all the way up till last year, never saw no sideline action like that. Never saw no sideline action like that. Now, phone conversation or whatever, I seen Matt Ryan slam the phone down or whatever after he's talked to somebody in the booth, whatever, presumably Shanahan.
Right.
But on field action like that, because see, Arthur Smith and Arthur Smith got heated, and he looked like a Belichick type, just ornery, halfway don't want to have no interviews, don't want to talk to anybody, Right. And thing is that they gonna have to clean him up a little bit, because they might give him a coach's show or something of that nature. If he becomes successful, they're gonna have to give him a coach's show or something.
Maybe so. Maybe so.
But they were really going at it last year.
I got a comment about that too. I'm looking at a couple of these comments there. Ryan says, you wanted a man fired who'd been to 4 Super Bowls. Wow, and Reeves turned us around. Let me take a little bit of this one. Let me take a little shot of this one. Dan Reeves went to 4 Super Bowls, and arguably if Terrell Davis doesn't come to the Denver Broncos, he is Bud Grant. He is, what's the guy in Buffalo? Chuck. No. You talking about what's the coach?
Oh, I got it. Marty. No, excuse me, not Marty. What's his name?
Marv Levy. That. I'm not saying Dan Reeves wasn't a good coach. That's his soul. I'm not saying that. But by the time he got to the Falcons, let's face it, he took this job because it was close to home. He took this job because nobody else was going to take him. Now, hand clap for the Super Bowl year. Awesome ride that year. Really had a good team. Think Denver was just super loaded that year. I don't think it was anyway. This was different than 2016. I think the odds were against us to really beat Denver Broncos that year.
Plus the Dan Reeves did not change anything that he was running in Denver when he came and ran us.
Right.
Okay. John Elway was his quarterback.
Right.
For all of that time, John Elway was his quarterback. So, and then we came to find out when Michael Vick got here that he was running the Dallas Cowboys playbook.
Of course you were.
When he was with us.
Yeah, right.
He's still running the Dallas Cowboys playbook. Now, you got this playbook that you have not changed for 30-something years.
Right.
And you're coming and running this in the Super Bowl against a quarterback that already knows what you're going to do. And the thing was, they were going to take Jamal Anderson away. They took Jamal Anderson away.
Jam was held up.
Yeah, they took him away. So see, thing is that also that team that went to that Super Bowl, man, you talking about this team here? They went to big lots or wherever it is to make this team. Man, we shocked ourselves, man, because see, the thing was that year, man, I mean, 10-2, 11-2, 12-2. We
13 straight.
I think it was
13 straight.
Yeah, I think about 13 straight games, man.
Yeah.
We
were two. Oh, were we?
That was
2-2.
Yeah, because we
lost to San Francisco
the very first game,
in Frisco,
and then we lost to the Jets.
After that Jets game, we went to New England. That was the turning point.
Yeah,
we went to New England and we blew them cats.
I mean,
we kicked their behind so bad.
Yeah,
that year that it wasn't even funny.
And see, that team still has the best record in Falcons history.
That's true.
That team still got the best record in Falcons.
14-2.
14-2.
But they lived up to it, though. Yeah, that was a good. That was a balanced team offensively. Because Jamal, there was no Barry Sanders. I think. No. Was it him or Terrell Davis that ended up with the MVP that year?
Might have been Terrell. It was Terrell Davis.
Was it Terrell Davis? It was either him or you know who it might have been. No. It might have been Randall Cunningham. Because remember, they were 15-1.
That's right.
They were 15-1. So that might have been Randall Cunningham.
That's right.
So either way,
14-2. We still were a road team.
Dude, 14-2, and you playing on the road.
Playing on the road.
And we were 10-point underdog.
10-point underdog going up there.
So,
man, I remember running through the doggone post office. But, man, hell has frozen over.
And my mom is watching this, which sometimes she'll tell you. We were all happened to be in her room at the time that kick happened. And, man, we about broke up there.
I know it, man. I know it.
Next to maybe the field goal that beat Seattle. Probably one of the most exciting moments that you have in Falcon history. That was a good one. Let me catch back up, man. All these folks are doing well. Anthony Moss says, leave it. John, y'all show should be called Grumpy Old Man. Oh, Anthony got jokes. He said, Grumpy Old Man.
Like old folks say, you ain't raised me.
We screenshot Anthony name. We come to get you, Anthony.
You ain't raised me.
My brother Shed in the house. What's going on, Shed? How you doing, brother? How you doing? Everything good? All right, Coach Dre comes back again and say, John, do you think these new quarterbacks for the Falcons will stare down the wide receivers this year?
I've seen Mariota do it already in practice. Now, hopefully, Arthur Smith gets with him and makes sure that Ritter doesn't do it. But the pass plays that they were running last week were happening so fast that they would look at who they were throwing to, boom, ball going their way. So as long as you can do that,
progression 1, progression 2, take off.
Progression,
boom. Get 4 yards. Give me 4 yards. Don't lose 6.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the difference.
Don't just stand back there.
Are you talking about like your hero?
Like making bread. Like instead of him making biscuit.
Man, that man. And it's so funny. He's sitting here trying to act like he don't like Matt Ryan. I'm trying to tell y'all. But he got a Matt Ryan doll somewhere that he get ready.
Full of pins.
Clayton said the good old days featuring Father John and Unc Steve. That's actually pretty good. The good old days. That would be kind of good. Clayton said just need the Mad Dog and the cigar. Now see, I don't smoke, so I can't do that. Yeah, you might get a cigar too, but
I'm a drinker. Get tidy of smoking.
Yeah, that's right. We need to get tidy. Tidy will be the residential smoker always.
See, I was trying to get him to come up to Chicago Pizza right up. You remember?
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to get him to come up to Chicago Pizza because I owe him dinner.
He know he need to come on up there. Ain't nothing in middle Georgia, man. Ain't no restaurants in there. Ain't nothing but a Waffle House. Ain't nothing but a Waffle House and probably
Steve, the place Tidy took me when we hooked up and ate. That was a nice place. It was a real nice place in Chicago, cigar bar thing.
I saw the picture. Y'all had pictures of that.
Yeah. Man, that was
we
real nice.
We gotta do that to grow. We'll see each other this year without a doubt. No doubt. This is Jimmy. Jimmy say, look, I love Matt. Dude was good, but he wasn't the reason we win a Super Bowl. He also wasn't the reason. We also wasn't gonna be the reason we got one either. He was a yes man. We saw it too often where he just wouldn't make the right decision. And this is one of the arguments I think you and I have had about just what Jimmy is saying about whether he had the autonomy to make that call away from the pass play. When Julio catches the ball, and whether he had enough and not only autonomy, but did he have the equity at that time with Kyle Shanahan to deviate from the plan?
Right. Well,
let's make it clear. People forget 2015, these cats weren't on the same page.
No.
At all. He'll tell you that. Matt Ryan will tell you that to this day. They were not on the same page. So do you think in the biggest game of the year, and this is what he and I have been talking about before, do you think in the biggest game of the year that Kyle Shanahan said, okay, I got you here, Matt, stick to the script? Do you think Matt would have even tried to, do something different in that moment?
I would say, just like you said, they weren't seeing eye to eye in 2015.
Right.
2016, I think we talked about this a while back where they had this knockdown drag out in 2015.
Absolutely.
Where he was allowed to run the shotgun because he didn't want him in the shotgun. Right. He didn't even want him in the shotgun.
Right.
Didn't want him audible.
Under center.
Wanted him under center. Didn't want him audible because he said that the West Coast offense had so many options in it that you didn't need to audible. But thing is that, Steve, this is one thing that I've always said. If you're the franchise quarterback, you getting $100 and something million.
True.
You getting $100 and something million. You're the franchise quarterback. If somebody had to leave because y'all couldn't get along, who leaving?
Kyle
Shanahan got to go. Kyle Shanahan got to go because now the situation was untenable, and that's why Dimitroff told Shanahan and Ryan to work this thing out because he didn't want to get rid of either one of them. Right. Okay. He told them to work this thing out.
Right.
Because man, this is the thing that really gets me because you remember I was telling you Chauncey came on last night.
Right.
Chauncey, and I've got to remember, I want to remember exactly what it was that Chauncey said so I can quote him correctly, and it'll come to me because the cobwebs are starting. But at any rate, thing is that just like Aaron Rodgers,
right?
When LaFleur went up there,
that's right.
They had this discussion as to whether he was going to be able to audible or not, and Aaron Rodgers, what?
Yeah.
Matter of fact, talking about Dan Quinn, Mike Holmgren. You remember when Dan Quinn hired the Get Back Man, the time manager and all that type of stuff? Man, Mike Holmgren lit him up on 92.9. That's your job. You're supposed to be doing all that. What you hired this doggone Get Back Man for? And thing is that it was just a microcosm of how the whole team was.
Right.
Starting quarterback, franchise quarterback, when you on the field, that's your team. That's your team when you're on the field. Okay? Now, if Matt Ryan had called an audible, was he going to get fired? Were you going to bench him? Were you going to fine him? Okay, yeah, go on ahead. Tell you what, go on ahead.
But he wasn't going to get off the team.
No, No.
Right.
You know, and see, that's why I put so much on him. Now, the play call might have been bad. Play call bad, all right? But you on the field, especially when you walking up and down the sideline talking about we should be running the ball. We should be running the ball. What? Come on, man. You know, and that's where I get my angst from.
But
that's where my angst.
But it goes back to, again, and you didn't answer this question. Do you think he had the equity? Again, prior to Matt Ryan.
Automatically, as the franchise quarterback. Now, see, this is the thing.
Okay.
This is the thing. You may be the offense coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
You may be the offense coordinator. Okay. Just like Tom Brady last year when Brian Left was trying to change the play, and Tom Brady, no, told him just like that. That's what you got to do.
Hold on, though. Equity, but Tom Brady.
I agree.
I understand. Equity for Tom Brady is different than equity for Matt Ryan, and so I'm actually agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you a little bit. I guess my point is, I'm not talking about. Obviously, we know Matt would stay over Kyle.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Prior to, and more importantly, after the 2012 season, that Matt had a decent year. He didn't have an MVP year, but he had a decent year.
Yeah, well, you lost in the NFC Championship.
Exactly.
You made it to the NFC Championship.
So from 13, 14, you put up numbers, but you weren't effective.
Mm-hmm.
We were 4-12, and we were 4-12 in 13. A lot of injuries, and 6-10 in 15. 14. You're 14. Right. 13 was 4-12. 14 was 6-10 when we lost to Carolina and had a chance to win the division. So if I'm Kyle Shanahan coming in and I'm saying, okay, I have to change whatever's going on. You giving me 4,000 yards. Julio's still putting up numbers, but y'all ain't scoring. And y'all can't beat people. You got 10 wins in 2 years. That's not good, right? So from Kyle's standpoint, he had to break Matt down. True. And kind of reinvent him. So I guess I'm saying the equity would mean LaFleur coming to Rodgers. Rodgers has not only a Lombardi, but several
good years. Top quarterback play.
Right.
I understand what you're saying.
So Kyle Shanahan is saying, you ain't good enough to change my plays. What's your argument to that? You're not good enough to change my playbook or my game plan. I have turned you from a 4-12, 6-10 quarterback to on the verge of the first championship and your only MVP season. How dare you change my playbook? Is it legit? I guess I'm saying, is it legit? I hear what you're saying. You're right. But is that a legit rebuttal?
Had the knockdown, drag out not taking place,
right,
you would be right.
Okay.
Because see, that was the thing. When they had to sit down there and work this out over a couple of beers, as Dimitrov explained,
right.
After they worked that out,
right.
Okay, I'm supposed to give you a little bit.
Absolutely.
Because he gave him a little bit in 2015. Okay, you can go in the shot now. Okay, you can change the play. You can do various things.
Right.
He gave him a little bit. And since you gave him that little bit, that particular spot in the Super Bowl was the time for you to use it.
That's true.
That time in the Super Bowl was your time to use it, because see, the thing is,
pull up your bootstraps and less.
And good or bad, you take the hit. This is what Chauncey was saying last night. Yeah. Matt Ryan had demanded to be traded. Now, this is what Chauncey was saying. Mm-hmm. Chauncey was saying that on the plane, on the way back, after Brian Cox was trying to jump on Kyle Shanahan, kind of like Buddy Ryan was trying to jump on Kevin Kilbride in Houston.
Oh yeah.
After that,
he got his money's worth.
Oh yeah, well he got his money's worth. Yeah. So They said that Matt Ryan had taken. Well, no, it wasn't on the plane, but it was after. It was after about a month after the Super Bowl.
Right.
Matt Ryan was taking so much flack about what he didn't do in the Super Bowl that he wanted to be traded.
Okay.
This is what Chauncey was saying.
Oh, yeah.
This is what Chauncey was saying. And he said he wanted to be traded because the thing was, he was taking the heat and Shanahan wasn't taking them.
Nope.
He was taking the heat and Shanahan wasn't taking them. So, and I asked Chauncey, I said, now, how do you reconcile that with the fact that Shanahan was blaming Freeman for the missed block when I've shown the way that the blocking scheme was supposed to go, that it was the tight ends man to block right down the line of scrimmage instead of him taking a doggone cornerback out into the field, because 270 trumps 208 every day of the week.
I agree. I have to agree with that.
Thing is, now Chauncey was saying, well, yeah, Matt Ryan got tired of hearing that, but then again, that was Freeman's man to block. Come on, man. Now, man, which one you gonna believe one and not believe the other one?
I have to think, and like I said, I know I'm gonna die on that one as far as people who try to blame him. But me and you gone over that several times. But
and people still, man,
they still don't want to hear.
No, they don't want to hear. I don't show them, but I had a compiled.
I remember.
I had a compiled definition.
But after I saw you with the tight end, I actually didn't see that until you brought that up. So
I mean,
my brother Sheehan is in the house. Sheehan says, "Steven, you know how much I hated the Mitchell. Man, I could watch the combine." Sheehan dog about all the time. Man, I watched the combine that season before we drafted Peter Conson. I remember him because he did less reps of 225 as an O-line than a punter and 2 wide receivers in that combine. I specifically said, don't draft Peter Conson. We draft Peter Conson. I think we kind of were knee-jerk that year because we lost Mud Duck. What didn't Mud Duck? We got Conson 13?
I think
because Mud Duck retired in 12.
It wasn't.
Didn't we get
okay? Did we try to get Mud Duck back?
We tried,
and
he wouldn't come back.
And he wouldn't
come back.
That's right.
And I think we had lost. That was one of the draft picks because Conch was our first pick because we didn't have a first round pick. So, it kind of didn't work out that year. Ryan says Terrell Davis got the 1998 MVP because he rushed for 2,000 yards. Okay. All right. That makes sense. I knew it was either him or Randall Cunningham because Randall had an awesome year that year. That was Randy Boss's rookie year. Chris Carter was eating. Cam Jordan daddy. Steve Jordan. He was eating.
Ryan Smith. What was his name?
Robert Smith.
Robert Smith
He
was running back.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. See, thing was when you had that wide receiver threat of Moss and Carter, you gonna eat.
Right.
You can't check you for one thing.
No, sir. This Shen again said 1998 is my favorite Falcon team. Best balance we ever had. A lot of people forget we were second in yards, in touchdowns, and passing that season was just behind the record-setting Vikings. And I love the 98 team. Yeah, love the 98 team. But I'm sorry, I'm sticking to my guns. Our best roster we ever had was the 1980 Falcons, without a doubt. We had so many remnants of the grit splits still around. We still had Bartkowski. That particular year, William Andrews and Lynn Kane almost became the first duo to run for 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
Lynn Kane had 914, I think, or 9-something, and William Andrews was 1,300, knocking everybody out and stuff like that. So while I definitely think the 98 team was up there, no doubt. But that for those that remember the 1980 team, that was some real stuff right there.
Yeah, man.
Them boys, and to this day, I bet you And look, we lost in Falcon style. Had to lead by 10 here at Fulton County Stadium.
Man, Jeff Van Note.
Yeah.
When Van Note and Larry Munson had their show.
Right, yeah. They did used to have that.
And I called in one time and I asked him because everybody was saying the same thing about Layman Bennett.
Right.
Okay,
right.
Get a lead, sit on.
Sit on it.
Get a lead, sit on.
Right.
And man, Jeff Van Note said, I will never forgive that man.
Yeah.
I will never forgive him.
We were destroyed. And this wasn't the Dallas Cowboys of now.
No,
this was the Staubach had just left, but this was still Drew Pearson, still Tony Dorsett, still
Danny White. How many Super Bowls did Danny White win?
He won. Well, actually, he won none. Because in 70, if I'm not mistaken, the last Dallas Super Bowl before that was against Pittsburgh, and they beat Pittsburgh.
Okay, 1980. I thought Danny White won a Super Bowl.
Danny White did not win. He lost. He lost in the championship to Philadelphia. We had beat Philadelphia. We whooped Philadelphia actually during the season.
Yeah, during the season.
So we were the number 1 seed.
Mm-hmm.
Danny White was the starting quarterback of that year, and that particular year we
we knocked Staubach out in 78.
That was in 78 during the wild card game. We beat Philly.
We knocked him out.
We beat Philly in the wild card game.
Yeah, we beat Philly.
Then we went to Dallas. Kind of similar. We had the lead for a quick second. Robert Pennywell knocked the dog mess out of Roger Staubach.
Mm-hmm.
Danny White came in, the punter at that time.
Yeah,
came in, beat us. 2 years later, and Danny White did make the playoffs that year. In 78, that was Pittsburgh that won that one. That was one of their back-to-backs. And but Dallas's last one before that, Dallas beat Denver in kind of what year that was. Is that 77? They beat the Orange Crowd. They beat Dan Reeves.
Well, that was Denver.
That was the last Super Bowl Dallas won until Troy Aikman and the fellas
until that
dynasty came along. But again, we beat a team with Hall of Famers.
Yeah,
that Dallas team was no joke. So that was good. Who was this? Abel. Abel, what's going on? Abel said more of the John and Unc show, please. Hey, we'll try our best. We're here today by technical difficulties.
We'll do what we can, but I'm getting old. I can't find my way down.
Hey, man, I used to be able to put bird crumbs down here. He used to be able to find it down to the house. He can't make it no more, man. He don't know what GPS stands for, so I don't know what. Who we got? Kivia, what's going on, man? Kivia says, how about that Falcons team in the mid to late 70s? Defense gave up 279 points. He's probably talking about now the major team was the 77 team. We only played for 124 because it was only 14 games. Yeah. And they gave up up to that point the least amount of points in the season. And we were 7-7. Mm-hmm. We just didn't have the offense to match. That was our problem. It's always something. The defense, nobody. I mean, we were stalling everybody, but we couldn't score. Yeah, we couldn't score that year. And if we could have scored, we would have been good. Wallace, what's going on? Wallace Smith joining us on Facebook. Going good, man. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate you. Armani says, what I liked about Kyle Shanahan is that him and Matt went at it at practice. He put his foot in Matt Ryan behind and made him do stuff that he wasn't comfortable with. I agree. Dre says, I have a question off topic about the Falcons. We'll get to that in a second. Wallace said, but everywhere Shanahan has been, he doesn't let his quarterbacks audible out of his play call. And again, maybe Kyle Shanahan, and this is something to be thought about. Maybe Kyle Shanahan can't coach those type of quarterbacks. He can coach the Jimmy G's. Mm-hmm. He can coach the Matt Ryan. And who did he have in Washington? It was
RG3.
RG3. So those guys who are on the come up, but not quite there with the equity, the Bradys, the Rodgers, the Roethlisbergers, those folks.
And now, and to your point, and to his point, in the Super Bowl as well as the playoffs last year, it was the fact that Garoppolo couldn't audible out of plays that lost him that game.
And Wallace makes a good point about that. That's exactly.
Now Ryan had the equity to do so. Right. Like I said, after that knockdown drag out they had, he could run plays out of the shotgun. Then, because Matt Ryan preferred doing that, because he could see the whole field. He could see the whole field, and he was away from the offensive line. Right. Then he was able to do some audibles. He was able to do some audibles. And see, the audible doesn't necessarily mean, and I know you know that, and I hope everybody else knows that, just because you sit back there and call a whole bunch of mess, that don't mean you change the play.
This is true.
You just do it just to do it sometimes. Right. Because I remember, before Shanahan got here, Matt Ryan used to call out the name of every car Chevrolet made. Chevy Caprice, Chevy Monte Carlo, Chevy Camaro with the full barrel carburetor. He's just do so. I said, what the hell is Matt Ryan doing? But the bad part about it was, Steve, every time that he would call an audible, it would be to a run.
Wow. So
it would always be to a run. So and everybody knew it. Everybody knew.
You hear the car.
Yeah, you hear the Joe calling out a car name. Oh, shoot, they getting ready to run.
Dre said, did you see the NFL ask the Saints punter for a drug test after that 81-yard hit?
What?
I didn't.
I didn't know about that.
I didn't see that. I probably don't put as much attention on the Saints as I should, but we need to be getting. Come here, son. We need to be getting Kamara.
Come here, son.
Wallace said, y'all can say what y'all want, but Freeman missed that block. Hey, listen, I did say, after I saw the way he laid that out, I must admit, I said, you know what? Maybe that was the responsibility, but I'll also go here. Even without an audible, or even if I knew that what I was trying to get out, Freeman saw him coming. It's not like he didn't see him. So if he saw him too late, even if he chipped him, we would be talking about a whole different scenario.
At 270 pounds.
Even if he chipped him.
Because if I'm not mistaken, Hightower got a hold of Freeman and pushed him.
He did.
Because see, the thing is that Freeman, man, look, and I keep trying to tell people to look at it. Because see, I remember, matter of fact, Tony Jackson had a breakdown right after the play where he had lines drawn to every play or whatever. That don't mean that's what the blocking assignment is. But the thing is that
you need to be quiet because Tidy probably listening. You know he a big Devontae fan. He probably think Devontae should have got the
award. Now look. Okay, Devontae might should have got the award with the Falcons game, and Marshawn Lynch should have got the doggone MVP for the Seattle game. Because they couldn't stop. They couldn't stop.
That play call, Seattle.
And the head coach backed the man up.
Oh yeah, they were trying to make Russell look good.
Yeah,
brother Ricky in the house. What's going on, Rick? What's going on, man? Rick said, "How in the world did you get John up there? You got some street cred to get John up there." Let me tell you something. I ain't got no street cred. What I did is I called 1-800. Ain't got nothing to do. So
call you in video. You already locked up. Get on down.
That was easier than y'all think it was. Get him up here.
Retirement is wonderful.
Oh man. Dante said, last Cowboy Super Bowl, my dad had shoes with goldfish in the heel. Now, it ain't been that long now. It was 90-something, but it was still a long time.
When were they selling them goldfish?
I'm trying to say. How do you guys feel about our DC? Oh, that's cold, Dre. I don't know, man. I mean, this is year 2. There are a lot of things I'm going to be able to make up my mind when it comes to Terry Fontenot, when it comes to Arthur Smith, when it comes to Dean Pease. A lot of my evaluation about them is going to be after this season. And I think the true evaluation of them will be after next season. I'm going to tell you why I'm giving them this leeway. Last year, I think the Julio stuff behind the scenes that they probably knew and we didn't know threw them off. I think they thought Julio was going to give some money back, like Matt ended up doing, restructuring. I thought they thought Julio was in line for that. And it was obvious that Julio had some different thoughts. And they had to go to plan B. If I were to sit here and tell you I could read Terry Fontenot's mind in March of 2021, I bet his dream was to get either Lance, Fields, or some other quarterback. You're starting over a franchise. You're resurrecting, at least that's your charge. Your charge is to resurrect this franchise. I'm sorry. 6'7" tight ends don't resurrect franchises. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care how much of a freak of nature he's supposed to be. And this is not saying I don't appreciate Kyle. But you don't draft tight ends at number 4. I heard somebody on the YouTube thing talking about Brock Bowers, the guy from Georgia, the little young tight end from there. He might be the number 1 pick overall, and you'll be a foolish GM. You do not draft a tight end in the top 5 of your draft. Never. Love Kyle Pitts. Think I got a Kyle Pitts jersey in there from last year. But you never draft a tight end top 5. Thoughts?
You absolutely, positively right.
I mean,
because see, thing is, okay. And matter of fact, me and Chauncey, I had to type and see. Thing is, trying to type thoughts out like that doesn't work.
I like talking.
I gotta talk.
Right.
I gotta talk because see now my fingers don't go that fast, and I can't mentally project words onto the screen that quickly. But this is me. I agree with you 100%.
Right.
Because the only way you get a top 5 pick is that you have to be bad.
Really bad.
You have to be putrid.
Really bad.
You have to stink.
Really bad.
The only way that you can get up to that is that you've got to give up some draft capital, some money, something of that nature to move yourself up into that particular stratosphere to get somebody that you want. That's what San Francisco did.
Right.
That's what San Francisco did. Okay. Now, we Falcons, as well as the rest of the league, San Francisco was putting out these feelers, and they weren't discounting the rumors about the Alabama quarterback, saying we're gonna get him. We're gonna get him.
Right.
All right.
Oh, they did the Okado.
Yeah. Oh,
they did
the John Concat on it. They did the John Concat on it. All right.
When you just said that name, there was almost like a chill.
Hey, man, look.
Hey, Detroit. Hey, Detroit. Hey, man, we want Concat too. Let's give him a big contract. The Hawks won't match it. Hey, let's get John Concat. He'll be a franchise center. And actually, they tried to pay him in forward, right? Because Moses was in there. But, anyway, long story short.
Man, see now my stomach upset. I'm going to open up this root beer.
Oh, man. It was this, right? I'm sorry. She says, stop with the Matt Ryan slander. Stop it. with the Matt Ryan slander. Kyle Shanahan had 1 foot out the door and was stuck in scoring a TD instead of milking the clock and kicking the field goal with the real
Matty
Ice. Matt Bryant. I don't care what anyone says. That Super Bowl was 70% on Kyle because he called those plays. 20% on Dan Quinn because he came from Seattle where he witnessed Pete Carroll's crap away a Super Bowl by not running the ball in the right situation. And 5% for Matt for not changing the plays. And listen, you know, let's see what they said. Not changing the play and kicking the field goal.
Well, okay.
I'm gonna let you answer that because I know you the main one.
Right. I'm gonna say this. Okay, the 5% you gave Matt Ryan, that was the biggest doggone 5% that you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah.
That's the biggest 5% that you ever gonna see in your life because of the fact that play was called. There were people trying to tell me that they couldn't have switched to a running play. I said, didn't you have a running back out there on the field?
You're supposed to.
Freeman was out there on the field. So how in the world you can't change to a running play with a darn running back there? And then again, even simpler than that, Steve, even simpler than that. You call the play. Go ahead and call the play. But you go right to doggone, what's his name? The center.
Alex Mack.
I'm going to get right up under you and I'm going to
go forward. Because they would have had to use their timeouts and everything. And I'm gonna tell y'all something too before we go any further. The reason why, and I thought about this a long time ago, because as a franchise who was so close to having that championship, I mean, so close. I always hear folks say, well, y'all keep talking about the Super Bowl. Y'all keep talking about whatever. How long we been keeping? I mean, you talking about from the 70s. I'm sorry that y'all have made all the old jokes y'all want about stuff like that. When you have an opportunity, and would you argue that was the closest
that was the best opportunity we have ever had?
The 98 Super Bowl was never in question. Denver destroyed us. And there was no part in that game that we thought we were going to come back.
Mm-hmm.
So for those of you who seem to think, everybody always goes back to that. As a fan, y'all, that hurt. I mean, I don't know if y'all are fans or not. That hurt. And that's why when we come into this part of the year where we and I and we're getting ready to talk about tomorrow and the stuff going on in the game. We're not going to ignore that. But as fans, John, that crap hurt.
Yeah,
that
still hurts.
So it hurt like it happened yesterday.
Mm-hmm. And part of our energy, we're trying to change it.
Yeah.
We're trying, but even though the big finger has written this into the history,
right?
We are still trying to change it. If they had done this, if this had happened, we are still trying to change this in my mind. I'm trying to change it in my heart.
Think about the contracts that we tried to sign after the Super Bowl. We signed Devontae Freeman to an extremely inflated contract.
Mm-hmm.
We re-signed Trufant like he was a shutdown corner. We tried to re-sign what's my cat's name? Losing my mind. I'm losing my mind on defense. I'll be back to it. We tried our best to recapture that moment by overpaying guys
and keep the team intact.
keep that same
Keep the
team
team intact.
because the thought was
we going
right back the next year.
Yeah, we
And
going right back.
Belichick knows, and what some of the great coaches knows are you have to evolve. You have to change. You might drop down a year by replacing a couple of old heads. And usually when Belichick get rid of folks, it's usually the right time. They go on and they might be serviceable, but they were never what they were when they were with him. Might be one or two exceptions.
Yep.
But we tried, Arthur Blank tried his best. And I get it. I'm not totally blaming him. When you get that feel, if you get that feeling, you want that feeling to happen over and over and over again.
Oh man, just like I always said, 1998, we had never tasted NFC Championship. We had never tasted Super Bowl.
Right.
We tasted NFC Championship. That's a different flavor. I like that.
Then went out and lost to a smoothie.
Well,
what's his name got hurt?
Then you want to taste winning Super Bowl.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
We were close to that when we went back to the NFC Championship. Okay. When we went back to the NFC Championship, won it, and went on to the Super Bowl.
Right.
We've been here before. The franchise has been here before.
Right.
Okay. It was there before 1998. Okay.
Right.
But now you are going to the Super Bowl and you fire hot. The team is fire hot on offense because see, and everybody keeps talking about this defense that we supposed to have and how sorry the defense was. You didn't win those games with defense. You won those games with offense.
You outscored everybody. And I keep going back. We got the hint. That New Orleans game leading into the year. And I think you were there with us that year?
Yeah, you remember I was raising saying about the fact that we were giving feedback.
31-10 in that finale at the Georgia Dome. New Orleans had the ball and almost could have won that game.
They could have won the game.
And it started there.
Yeah.
So I just say for those who say, oh, y'all keep bringing up, dude, if you take,
you can't get past
you can't until you go back. Until you go back and win.
Well, thing is that when you win it, you won that.
That's true.
You won that.
Yeah.
But this one, no one had ever lost a Super Bowl like this. And then the Falcons said, hold my beer. Right. Hold my beer. I'll show you how to mess up a Super Bowl. But there was something.
No, I was reading this. Rick said 100 called John for a bird.
But I wanted to go back to a point.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I want to go back to a point that we didn't fully just flatten out.
Okay.
And that was drafting Kyle Pitts. Number one.
Got it.
Now, just like you said, when you are building a franchise, when you are going to put your stamp on a franchise as a head coach, whatever position you are in the franchise, and you got a number 4 pick, top 5 pick, that's automatically quarterback, or trade the pick and get some things that you need. Instead of, because see, just like I was telling you, do you know that Kyle Pitts is within $2 million of Fields, of Trey Lance, excuse me. His contract is within $2 million of Trey Lance, a tight end. Okay, now, how in the world do you justify paying any tight end first round draft pick money when you could have gotten a quarterback, set him on the sidelines, let him learn for a year? Because you look, last year and this year are, I'm going to say, throwaway years. Last year and this year, throwaway years.
Last year became a throwaway year
because you kept
your old quarterback.
Yeah.
And piggybacking on what you're saying, I think we're on the same page. Had you drafted a quarterback last year, knowing that Matt was going to be on the team, Matt was going to be on the team.
Matt was going to be on the team. Yeah.
But how much better do you think our prospects would be because you had a quarterback that would have been sitting in the wings.
Learning
how to be a pro. I saw Trey Lance. I saw some good stuff out of Trey Lance in preseason. I'm not saying that's gonna. I'm not trying to it may not immediately, but I saw some better stuff from what I saw last year. So we are 1 year behind, and you could argue, as nice as I like Ritter, he did some good things and whatever, but talent potential wise, I saw a lot more in Lance, and I still think I saw some things from Justin that he's improved from what I saw last year. A couple of things, but we'll see. The book is still open.
Yeah, it's still an open book. And see, look, he's going to have opportunity starting tomorrow night,
right?
To improve. Because, see, guess what? He's sitting behind Mariota. And the thing was, you already had Matt Ryan here, and the way that the salary cap, okay, even though we got rid of some money, we still carrying the biggest doggone cap hit in NFL history.
You would have been able to easily let him go for a lower cap charge than what you're doing right
now. And had a quarterback ready to come on. And then you could have drafted Ritter this year. You could have drafted Ritter this year just like you did. But you paid a tight end starting quarterback money.
And don't mistake this for hate for Kyle Pitts.
No.
We love Kyle Pitts and what he's going to be able to bring to us. But I'm sorry. You can't draft a tight end in the top 5 when you know the bell is tolling for your quarterback.
Bell is tolling for your quarterback, and then the bell is starting to ring for your new head coach and your new scheme, your new people here. Because see, the thing is, you own the clock as soon as you sign that contract to become head coach and whatever. And see, I think it was last Saturday, I got on a live with Ryan and some other people, and we were talking about this. Getting Kyle Pitts for the amount of money that you spend for him is just like buying a doggone Mercedes with 650 credit. Because see, you pay way too much for the car.
Extremely.
And you're going to keep paying because you're getting 22 to 24% interest on that doggone loan versus 0.0, 1.9, things of that sort.
Wallace asks a good question. He said, you're supposed to draft the best player available, and Pitts, I'm sure he meant fits that category.
If you pick at number 4.
And listen, I'm not trying to say from a measurable standpoint, but from a he's gonna be really good standpoint. But let's put all the factors on the plate last year for the Falcons. Obviously, but behind the scenes, they knew it was more trouble with Julio than we knew. They also knew that Matt Ryan had this albatross of a contract that was not going to allow us to keep doing this over and over again. They didn't want to. You remember last year, and I kept telling everybody, they weren't committed to Matt Ryan until he literally did the restructure. If you remember, all the press conferences, they kept saying, is Matt Ryan tradable? Is that? And they said, well, listen, we don't want to say anything because anything can happen. We don't know. They said Julio.
We want to keep our options.
We want to keep our options. Even Arthur Blank sat there in his little sofa up there with Rich McCabe talking about there are no guarantees who's going to be there. Now, when that fell through, the next thing I'm pretty sure they were thinking was, you know what? We need to get a replacement here for Matt. Because I'm Terry Fox. No, this is my first year. Here's Arthur Smith. This is his first year. We have to look for the future. Matt Ryan is not Aaron Rodgers, where you're going to jump in and let him run the show. He's not Tom Brady, where you're going to jump in and run the show. He's not the guy in Buffalo, Josh Allen. He's not Lamar Jackson. He's not. And as much as I keep hearing the bloated expectations of the Indianapolis Colts, folks, up in Indy, mark my word, you'll be on this thread about Game 8 talking about, man, boy, y'all were right talking about that.
Talk about it like they talk about Julio.
But oh my goodness, you would think some of the people at Indy think they got Peyton Manning 2.0. Dude, y'all gonna be. Let me stop.
We'll see.
We'll see. But to your point, Wallace, it's not anti Kyle Pitts. And you know what? There were a lot of people saying Kyle Pitts was the best athlete in the draft besides Trevor, besides Zach Wilson. You mean to tell me that New York Jets were going to sit here face to face and tell you that Kyle Pitts is not a better pick than Zach Wilson? Because if that's the case, Wallace, Kyle Pitts would have gone number 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Everybody had Kyle Pitts as probably one of the highest rated folks. I know a lot of people had Trevor at number 1, but 1 or 2. So that goes for both. That goes for us. That goes for any of those teams.
And also, see, this Kyle Pitts move is the same move with Julio.
Right.
You remember right after Green Bay, or after we got beat by Green Bay in the playoffs in 2010, they wanted to stretch the field, so they go get Julio Jones. But you needed offensive lineman.
Yeah, that's true.
You needed an offensive lineman. Now, and it was no slight against Julio. It wasn't no slight against Julio, because I remember me and Jamie Dukes going back and forth about that. And going back and forth about Matt Ryan's contract at the time, too.
But would you argue, and I hear you where you're going, the argument in that particular, you had 2, when we 10 or 11? 11.
Mm-hmm.
You had 3 straight winning seasons. You had a third, you're talking about Julio getting drafted now. You had the year that you drafted Julio, you were coming off a 13-3 year. Yes, there were deficiencies in the offensive line. I'm not here to debate that. You're right. We wanted some explosive plays, so we're gonna get Julio Jones. Mike Smith was salivating because Arthur Blank was sitting there saying, we ain't got nobody to stretch the field. Roddy White was great, but Roddy wasn't stretching the field like that. If you're 13-3, going back to equity, you have some equity to go up into the top 5 and overreach for that person. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And to a certain extent.
But was Michael Jenkins that bad? Because Michael Jenkins was our stretch wide receiver. And Matt Ryan was underthrowing him.
At that time, Matt hadn't evolved yet. And you're right. By 2000, the year we were 2000, the year we were 13-3, we really weren't a 13-3 team. Would you? The first time.
Yeah, you're right.
First time.
You're right.
I don't think we were as good. As
mentally and emotionally, we were not ready.
We were not ready.
We stumbled on this thing
and give them credit. Give them credit for doing what they did. So in that particular case, as a team coming off 13 wins, you can gamble a little bit. Now it didn't pay off later because, to your point, we had to go through 13 and 14 because we didn't have draft picks because we had given them away. But at that time, I'm not even mad at the Hail Mary to go get Julio because we did need that dance partner with Roddy at the time. Roddy was possession extraordinary.
Yeah,
Roddy was going to get everything you threw to him, but you needed
a field stretcher.
Alvin Harper to Michael Irvin.
Okay,
you needed Drew Pearson to what's my boy used to? What's the other wide receiver? But that was I can't. You needed a Lynn Swan to Stalwart. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, because we had a Tony Martin and a Terrence Mathis.
There you go.
Okay.
So,
but my point is that you had a big kind of fast wide receiver in Michael Jenkins that you already had.
You preface kind of.
Yeah, and
Was
yeah,
he-
I'm gonna
okay,
do that
okay.
because of the fact that we were really running a ball control offense at that time with
Michael Turner.
with Michael Turner. See, thing was, Matt Ryan was kept out of a lot of trouble because of
Michael
the running game.
Big Obi
And
was
Overman
making
Haley.
holes for him.
Yeah,
And
Overman Haley covered over
Jacquez
yeah.
Rogers.
Yeah, what do you call him? Muscle rat hamster. You call him muscle rat hamster.
Absolutely.
But-
yeah, you're right.
But the thing, and see, that's the thing that I'm saying. Okay, you didn't really need a stretch the field wide receiver because with Mike Mularkey.
Okay.
Mike Mularkey's
Right.
offense was a ball control, catch him off guard with a play action pass over the top type of offense. Okay. Now,
I think that charge came from higher above, though.
that could.
I think that. I think that charge could.
Because matter of fact, Arthur Blank, if I'm not mistaken, was saying, was saying something about I want a deep threat too. If I'm not mistaken,
And we had our choice that year. Remember, it was AJ and Julio
Mm-hmm.
that came out that year.
Yeah,
But your point is valid, though.
yeah.
Your point is valid.
And see, going up here, well, coming forward to now
Mhm.
with Kyle Pitts, not fourth overall pick,
Right.
Not for fourth overall pick.
Happy
money.
to have him.
Glad to have you.
Glad to have him. But I
Man.
think we started ourselves a year.
Mhm.
We started ourselves a year.
What you did this year should have been done last year.
There you go.
What you did this year should have been done last year.
And I would argue our division is in a much better place for us to run up and shock somebody.
Mhm. We hit somebody in the head from the back. This year.
I honestly think that. I see your point. I absolutely see your see your point. Tiny finally showed up. I know he probably sleeping there. Hey, John said he wants you to get some cigars, bro. Devontae would have been the Falcons' Timmy Smith. All we had to do was keep feeding the man. Now he's right.
He right.
He's right. He's right. He's right. But the problem is with he fleeced us, man. And I shouldn't say he fleeced us. Campbell's wife fleeced us.
Yeah.
Luke. I always thought Devontae was a really good player, and he bailed us out because we got that scrub from the Rams. What was his big boy name that couldn't break away to save his life? Steven Jackson.
Yeah. Okay.
And we had drafted Devontae coming off of the national championship with Jameis. The only thing that I didn't like about the Devonta Freeman situation is that as great of a season as he had in 2016, I don't think you overpay for 1 year. And I think contracts like his, contracts like what McCaffrey is doing now, have ruined the running back market for future. The future.
Yeah. And see, okay, I'm going to say this.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this. When the Falcons lost in the Super Bowl, and it was time to make a decision as to whether to sign people back,
Right.
to try to recapture the magic and all this type of stuff. Just like you said, we overpaid.
It's an emotional signing.
In emotional signings and overvaluing of the talent that we had.
There you go.
Because see now 2016 has turned out to be a fluke.
Oh.
2016 turned out to be a fluke. So all of those people that you had that made 2016 happen, where are they?
I'm having a problem with the fluke word because fluke would suggest that there was not genuine camaraderie on that team.
Talent.
Okay.
Not camaraderie.
Okay.
Not camaraderie.
Because it's 80% of that team went on to 2017 and still made the playoffs, won the playoff game, and was still a step away from the championship.
Well, and the defensive side of the ball
got better. Got much better.
The offensive side of the ball, which had taken you to the Super Bowl the previous year, got worse.
And you're not going to tell me that one OC was going to change that whole thing. I don't think that's the case. Shin says we should have kept Matt LaFleur as our offense coordinator, but Arthur Blank and Dan Quinn thought he was too young to be an OC. That was the bitterest mistake. We won those games off Matt Arm and Kyle play call. That's one of those.
Now, that's something else Chauncey said last night
about Matt LaFleur. But here's the problem. Go ahead. I'm gonna let you say what you're gonna say.
Okay.
Okay.
Matt LaFleur, according to Chauncey, this is what Chauncey said. Now, Chauncey, if you listening, you come in here and you can correct me if I get this wrong as to what it was that you said. Matt LaFleur and Kyle Shanahan got into a knockdown drag out about that last play call where, according to what Chauncey was saying, there were 3 plays called for that last possession where Matt Ryan got sacked. There's been 3 runs.
Got it.
Kyle Shanahan changed the play call to a pass. Matt Ryan said, "Are you sure? Run the play." Matt LaFleur said, "Are you sure? Run the effing play." So when the play backfired and all of that stuff that went on the plane, Matt LaFleur and Kyle Shanahan had a knockdown drag out where Kyle Shanahan put the bad word about Matt LaFleur in Dan Quinn's mind, Arthur Blank's mind, and useless Rick McKay's mind, so that Matt LaFleur left. Now, this is what Chauncey said. Now, Chauncey, like I said, if I got it wrong, come on in here and straighten it out, and then tell it like you're supposed to tell it.
My only rebuttal to that is that Matt LaFleur get hit in the head in that fight, because 2 years later, Matt LaFleur is criticized for making one of the most questionable plays by not trying to go for the touchdown in the game against who ended up going to the Super Bowl? San Francisco.
You talking about when he was with the Rams?
I'm sorry, the Rams. When he was with Green Bay. They were inside the 5-yard line
against Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay.
Yeah, against Tampa Bay.
And they had an opportunity to go for it. And even if they didn't make it, they still would have been inside. But he goes for a field goal, which to me was such a defeatist, losing attitude.
Instead of going
for the touchdown, you have one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the league. And though you didn't make it the first three times, you're not gonna go for it. I hear what people say, and it's Monday Morning Quarterback to go back and say we should have done Matt LaFleur. A lot of people, I even heard people say we should have fired Dan Quinn and hired Kyle, which is one of the dumbest things that you got a coach in Dan Quinn. Now we learned later that was wrong, but what owner, GM in their mind would fire somebody who got you to the Super Bowl in his second year? We can play the games that we want to. The answer is 0.
No,
nobody would have done that. I've heard so many stupid people comment at that. I know I usually don't, but that's one of the most asinine scenarios that you think about. You're gonna fire that, and again, you can't go by 17. I'm talking about after 16. There were people that saying you should have fired Dan Quinn and hired Kyle Shanahan. That was the dumbest. And I've heard people say that. Man.
When Matt Ryan's contract came up,
right?
I said, now, you can't let Matt Ryan go. At that particular time, you couldn't let Matt Ryan go because you still had the pieces that you could have arguably gone to a Super Bowl with.
True.
So you can't just let Matt Ryan go either. So and people were shocked. Well, John, you backing on Matt Ryan? Well, I'm backing because it's the only logical thing to do at that particular point where we were.
And that made made sense. Wallace says, yeah, as a Falcon fan, that hurt to see us give up 25 points and had a chance to win the game on a bad decision not to run the ball. Hurts. This is Kenzel. What's up, Kenzel? What's up, y'all? Just keep an eye on San Francisco because I believe karma is a you-know-what. Cal is going to have that team and quarterback playing like trash this year. We'll see. Tidy says, I hated the Kyle Pitts pick because unless Justin Fields shows and proves himself in the league, it may have been the correct pick. And again, the jury is out. I'm not trying to sit here and say that Justin is going to be the end-all, be-all. You're right. You're probably going to have to see how this weighs out. I think the sky's the limit for Kyle. I think Kyle is going to get double-digit touchdowns. I really do if the opportunities allow. But I'm just saying from a franchise standpoint, in the position we were at 4-12, in the position we were where we can sit here and fool ourselves to think Matt Ryan was going to drink some of the fountain of youth. It made too much sense as an incoming GM or coach to say, let's start the process now. Matt might be here a year, but let's start the process now. So you're right. It might end up being something that we regret. But
well, to that point, Matt Ryan was going to be here anyway.
Yeah, he was going to be here.
You couldn't get rid of him last year.
But that was the dumb thing, John. You had some people saying, well, there's no way you can draft a quarterback at number 4 and have him sit down.
Yeah.
What the hell you can't? Why not? Why can't you have a quarterback sit?
That's wasted money.
You're sitting there wasting the number 4 pick. Yeah, right. Ask Green Bay that they benefit from that. Ask
San Francisco twice.
Yeah. I mean, come on, man.
You know,
that really takes
ask Green Bay twice.
Dude, listen.
Because see, this is the thing. All right. You throw a quarterback out there to the Wolves.
Right.
Against this season coming up. Now, last season was the easier schedule.
Right.
This is a rougher schedule.
Sure.
You throw a quarterback out here into this maelstrom coming up this year and see what happens. Because, see, everybody forget about Jeff George. Everybody forgets about Jeff George in Indianapolis. Because, see, man, Indianapolis didn't have no line even when Peyton Manning got there. Jeff George was shell-shocked by the time that they discovered that he had an arm because they were teeing off on him every doggone game because he had no protection. And he was a straight pocket passer.
Yeah, zero.
Okay? So, look, your quarterbacks traditionally, just like Tom Brady. Tom Brady was sitting behind Drew Bledsoe in the 3rd quarterback position and beat the man out in camp to get number 2.
Okay.
But he at least was there learning. Okay. Right. You didn't throw him directly in the fire until Drew Bledsoe got hurt. Hey, it was an emergency, and now you have history. Other thing about it is that we go back to the beginning of a franchise, the beginning of this particular rule. This particular rule of this king.
Right.
All right. You want to set yourself up since you're stuck. Now, and see, this is another thing. Everybody keeps forgetting about the salary cap. You stuck. You stuck with a $45 million cap hit. What, 47? What was it? About 47?
I think we up to 50 something, if I'm not mistaken.
No. I'm talking about Matt Ryan.
Oh, Matt Ryan. Okay. Matt Ryan.
Because see, the Matt and Julio, man, the Matt and Julio, I think it's about $60 million.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
But you stuck with a cap hit. Now, where is your money best spent when you're stuck with a cap hit and you got a 1st round draft pick that and your cap hit, you can't do nothing about the cap hit. Okay. Quarterback. It screams quarterback, not tight end. Not tight end. You know, I mean, look.
Right now.
I'm
gonna share this real quick and show y'all real quick where we are. Just to give you an idea. Get that up a little bit. I can use a computer.
You impressing me right here, man.
John need a calculator, y'all. See what's
Yeah.
going on. All right. And I just messed it up. Sitting there dogging him out. Look at this number right here. This dead cap says the Atlanta Falcons in 2022 has $63 million in dead cap space. That didn't have to happen this year. It didn't have to happen this year. Now, once Deshaun Watson, and we got plenty of time for that later, and all that stuff worked out, we had to trade Matt. So again, we're $63 million. We can't do a whole bunch with that, y'all.
We are forced to shop.
We are forced to shop in the back door of Dollar Tree right now. The back door with coupons.
With coupons
at Dollar Tree.
With coupons, all the tax breaks that poor folk get, welfare, cheese.
You going to the liquor store to get Boone's Farm with a 2-for-1 coupon.
Man, you ain't even going to the liquor store. You buying your liquor.
Right. I'll take that back.
You buying your liquor out of Kroger.
Aldi's.
Yeah. You sitting up here pouring LaCroix soy sauce in there, pretending that it's wine. You don't have no money,
bro. We got nothing.
So you spend. That's why I'm talking about overspending for things that you do not need right now.
Right.
A tight end of that caliber is something that you add as a champion, as a piece. Finalize a championship.
Going back to why I thought the Hail Mary for Julio made sense. Maybe we gave too much, but at least it made sense coming off of a 13-3 year.
Yeah. It made more sense than
what we just did.
It made more sense you all come on in, and see why. I gotta ask a question. Why y'all scared? Why y'all ain't came in here? Why y'all scared? Mash the button so you can come on in here and we can get this thing straight. I see it was about 16. Oh man, it's about 30 folk here. But man, come on, somebody come on in here. Mash the button.
Shin says, "Man, I fear Terry Fontenot might be worse than the Mitrop. When he passed on Justin Fields, when he failed to us, I can't forgive him for that." Oh yeah, Steven, you was high on Zach Wilson. You kept talking about Zach Wilson, and I was a Justin Fields guy. I absolutely was. I ain't gonna lie to you. I kind of did drink the Kool-Aid, but right now my taste is definitely not in that category. He also said never draft a tight end at 4. Never. They can't affect the game enough to justify that pick. And I think the highest before that was Vernon Davis. Now Vernon Davis was okay, but in the whole encapsulating everything, was he worth the number 4 pick? Vernon Davis?
Not the way doggone
San Francisco couldn't get nothing out of him. My boy Rusty. Man, Rusty, what's going on, man? Rusty said, I seen a stat the other day that say Trey Lance threw 300 balls in football games since high school. Yeah, I know. That's an incredibly low number. Some college quarterbacks throw 300 balls in 5 or 6 games. He's way too much of a project for AS, I believe. And that was a power run offense at North Dakota State. Rumor is San Francisco went out and got a coach to teach Trey how to throw better. I'm not saying Desmond has an arm like Peyton Manning, but by any means, but thought that was an interesting stat on Trey. And
okay, I'm trying to find out what the problem is.
Yeah,
I'm trying to find what
almost falls into what we were kind of saying. This is the greatest time to draft. Last year was the perfect time to draft Trey because you didn't have to throw him out there. And I understand the 300 passes thing. I get that. He was hurt. So, I get it. But that makes sense.
But this is what I'm saying. That's what quarterback camp is for.
Yeah.
That is what coaching is for.
Yeah.
And you doing it with a man that don't have no miles on his own. Yeah, simple. Look, this offense
nobody was questioning his athleticism.
No.
Nobody is questioning his arm strength.
Mm-hmm.
So while we got Jimmy G and can afford to have Jimmy G for this year,
or for us, while we got Matt Ryan.
While we had Matt Ryan, which could have been perfect, and I know we were 4 and they were 3, I get it. But even in a Justin Fields situation, Justin Fields shouldn't have been thrown to the Wolves like that last year.
No.
I don't think Justin Fields should have been thrown to the Wolves.
Mm-mm.
He would have thrived in a situation like this one because Matt is an Iron Man. That's one thing you can say about Matt. Matt gonna have broken fingers taped up, do it. He gonna try to go out there on the field.
He'll come to work.
He go to work.
He'll come to work. He might
not
not work when he get here.
that productivity.
But he'll be at work.
So put Trey on ice. Let him learn. To your point, get the quarterback coach. Yeah, who cares? You get somebody to work with him. That's why you drafted him last year. You didn't draft Trey Lance to start in year 1. Quarterback is a different animal than tight end. I would rather have a quarterback say, you know what? Let me take this sit down job that I'm gonna still get paid highly for, and sit back and watch Jimmy G. Trevor Lawrence is gonna suffer. Trevor Lawrence, I think, in the long run, is gonna suffer for that. For being thrust out there early, and basically, and he looked bad last year.
Yeah,
he didn't look. How much did he resemble the quarterback at Clemson? He didn't look like the guy.
No, because the thing is that
he didn't.
You were not playing.
Right.
You were not
Georgia
playing.
Tech.
Georgia Tech. You look. And see, you know what? That's the curse of being high round drafted quarterbacks.
Right.
Trying to save franchises.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
In your first year.
Look
at Joe Burrow. Look at Joe Burrow.
Absolutely.
Look at Joe Burrow. Yep. You know, man,
got that man hurt.
Yeah.
That man got that man hurt the first year.
Man.
And look what you could have had.
And I'm gonna say something else too. When they talk about all that money for a person sitting on the bench, now, Steve, back when you did, things have changed. I'm just going to say things have changed.
Absolutely changed.
Because after that last lockout, everything flipped.
Yeah.
You don't come out of college like Matt Ryan and get a $30 million signing bonus and a $100 million contract. You don't get that no more. It's flipped. You are slated for rookie salaries as first round draft picks.
So the pressure for you to come out there, Sam Bradford, think about all those guys who signed those number 1 overall or first quarterback pick. Yeah. The pressure now that you have the salary cap for the rookie scale,
you have that slot.
You have that slot. Now there's not a pressure to throw them out there and let them start. Matt Ryan, it was a little bit of pressure to throw Matt out there.
Yeah.
Because when you sign that type of
contract, when you sign that type of contract with that much money, you the savior of the franchise.
Right.
You automatically have your job ahead of you. You are the savior of the franchise. So thing is that, you know, you now versus then, you can sit the man because the man ain't making but $18 million a year. If I'm not mistaken. Now Mariota making $18 million.
No. Mariota ain't even making that this year. Mariota made $8 million. No, bro.
I got it wrong. It's $8 million.
Yeah, $8 million. Yeah. He signed a 2-year trade. Matter of fact, and we can be free from that contract next year. Yeah. And don't owe him a dime.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
a prove it contract.
Absolutely. Toddy says Mike Jenkins was a very poor man's Roddy White. You wasn't going to win with him, and Burnett had got out of shape and no longer could carry the load. Julio was a win for the Falcons. Now, I ain't going to lie to you, Toddy. I ain't going to lie to you. The moment he started talking about Michael Jenkins, I was looking. We both drinking the same thing, and I know I got some liquor in there. So I thought he might have slipped some liquor in there. I know it's some old, some Hennessy or something like that.
You got something?
But
hold on.
He was almost making me worried because he was like, we need somebody to stretch the field like Mike Jenkins. I said, Mike Jenkins? Because I think the only play I remember Mike Jenkins significantly for was the first touchdown that Matt got.
And that was just 2 years prior. Now,
Right.
I think Tidy might be getting his years wrong because, see, okay, you drafted Julio in 2011.
Right.
And he was hooking it up with saying that Burner had got out of shape and could no longer carry the load. No, because see, thing is now.
Burner got it. In all honesty, I think Michael Turner lost it by in 11.
In 11.
Yeah,
but no, but see, look.
He was still running
When
pretty
did
hard.
Ovi Mahaley get hurt?
That was
Because it was Ovi Mahaley that had the holes where Turner could get out from the backfield, and you never did replace Ovi Mahaley as a fullback because the offensive line wasn't opening them holes like Ovi Mahaley was opening the hole. And see,
Ovi was home.
Ovi Mahaley was opening the hole. That's how Turner was looking like he was fast.
Right.
Because when he came out of the backfield, he didn't have to dodge anybody. Ovi Mahaley, man, I'm telling you.
I agree with that though. I wasn't a big
but I mean he was serviceable now. Okay, on that 62-yard touchdown that he ran.
He was good. That
particular play. But see, when you leaning back, and I got a video I had looked at.
He won the national championship, I think, at Ohio State that year before.
Okay.
Because that was the year was that Claret? I think that was the year Claret. Yeah, I think that was the year he won. That was the national championship they won. The problem was we never truly replaced Mike Turner in the running game. Yeah, I mean, we tried. They thought Steven Jackson was going to do it.
You didn't have a full back.
Right. We truly didn't have a full back.
Mike Smith's offense. Now, people hate
now that was Dirk by then, wasn't it? Because didn't Dirk come in 12? Dirk was the OC when we went to the NFC Championship. So anything after that, you got to blame him for.
Yeah, well, the thing was he was running that Air Coryell offense, and he wanted to pass all the time. Yeah, and was coming out of one back sets all the time.
He did like throwing the ball. Well, they had to get him in because they weren't going to get the use out of Julio with Malarkey back there. Wallace says, but the 49ers drafted tight end Davis with the 56th pick overall is no difference. And that was stupid. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't think that was smart. That was actually my point. I don't think that was a smart move. Vernon Davis never really blossomed until
when Mike Singletary put that man off the field.
Right. Oh yeah, I remember that.
When Mike Singletary put that man off the field, that told you there that man wasn't ready to play football because folk like Mike Singletary. Right. Those are old school. You know, no nonsense.
He wasn't gonna get his way. With
no,
not at all.
And that demonstrated the foolhardiness of picking that man because he wasn't ready for the position. He wasn't ready to play. In my opinion.
Tidy says, "Tell John I already picked up some cigars and I'm here at the $7 tomato.
It's one of them highfalutin.
I say, Tidy do be carrying himself like he's some high style. Good way he been getting them suckers. He be sitting out, them gas stations. He be asking for them Black and Mild. He be trying to act like he big cigar man. Look, man, I'd go get some $7.
Now, those are places where you don't shake your pepper from the top.
Is that
that stuff where you
my friend Tidy, we'll go get some
Mr. Jones
and some Grey Poupon and join you in your cigar quests for today.
Can somebody pass the jacket?
Remember that commercial? I still love it. Oh man. Man, I'm sorry, yo. We are old school to our
Hey,
heart,
man,
bro.
look.
Hey, it's all good. She says half of our offensive line retired, John. Duh.
What are you talking about?
Something's behind.
He was probably talking about Michael Turner, if I'm not mistaken. But thing is that those offensive linemen that you picked up, you still need. And see, thing is, people, the offensive line was not that good.
No,
under Mike Smith. It was not that good.
Mm-hmm.
It was Oven Mahaley that was covering
They were serviceable. They're better than what we got now.
Yeah,
they're better than what we got now.
Oh man, a doggone shower curtain better than what we got.
That's not saying a lot. It's about some boys in Grayson High School, boy. Speaking of which, real quick, I'm gonna tell you my real quick story. So Monday, Terry Fontenot came over, and thank my daughter. My daughter did an outstanding job. I'm trying to tell you, she made her daddy proud because she got every single person. Only person she couldn't get that she tried to get rid of, and Kyle Pitts. But Kyle Pitts went to the middle and she couldn't get him. But every other player, man, she put on her little charm, and all them cats come running over there taking pictures.
I saw the people she was pulling.
But Terry came over to us initially, and thank the Atlanta Falcons. I tell you, that time earlier this year, my son and I went up there to the.
Well, you got rained.
We got rained out.
Okay.
So what they did was the people who got rained out and left, they gave us an opportunity to come back. So they put us in these nice little things down on the field. So that's why we got a chance to go down there and do that. So Terry Fontenot came over and literally shot the jump with us. I mean, came over and hey man, what's going on? How you doing? I said, hey man, looking good. He had this nice little shirt on, and I told him, I said, man, I need to get that shirt. Now here's the funny thing. Now, I hope somebody in the family watching. He's like, man, I'll get you that shirt. What size you wear? Now, anytime a brother tell you what size he wear, he's supposed to be getting that shirt. So Terry, I hope somebody in your group looking at this video. 3X.
Get the man the shirt.
3X. But he was talking about, ironically, I know Ryan talks about this a whole bunch, and I know Tidy has talked about too, the talent in the state of Georgia in high school. He said he went up to a Grayson High School practice, and he said, them some boys up there right now that measure what some of these pro players look like. And he said it's just a whole different thing in Georgia to be able to, not only from a college standpoint, but to be able to look in your own backyard. You always talk about it too, SEC and all of that you can look in your backyard. So that's promising because I'm sure he's looking at some of the offensive line struggles that we're having, and maybe that might be something in the future if you start seeing some Georgia-based, SEC-based offensive linemen. I'm going to remember that conversation. But he sat and talked to me, my son, and my daughter for about a good 3 or 4 minutes, man, and just was really personable. And I'm sorry I took that 3 or 4 minutes, and I'm saying that's a good brother, man. I just like that you can engage the fan by just shaking his hand and going on to the next thing, but he had no reason to sit around and talk to us. And to me, that's a plus in my book.
Yeah, and that is good because you got to rebuild the trust,
right,
that
of the fans.
Have.
That's right.
Rebuild the trust that the fans have in you.
That's right.
In that position.
That's right.
Now, I'm going to ask this again. What's Rich McKay's job?
Rich McKay is in charge of the parking attendants that are a mile away from the Georgia Dome that wave them flags at the gas station. That's what he does.
Don't you think he overpaid doing it?
He might be. Wallace says, I disagree with y'all. In 2016 wasn't a fluke, but the decision Quinn made for not bringing back LaFleur as our OC. Yeah, I think I debunked the idea about it being a fluke. And I don't think he was truly saying a 100%. 100% fluke. I think you were saying some of the. You explained yourself.
We have not had an offense like that since.
This is true.
We've not had an offense like that since.
18 was close. Though.
18 was close.
18 was close. Everybody on defense went down. But our 18 defense offense was actually pretty good under Sarkisian.
Yeah. The problem was that in 2017,
right?
Because see, 2016, now 2017 is supposed to be the year that you went back.
Right.
Okay. The offense just dropped off. Okay, it went from 38 touchdowns, 7 interceptions to 20 touchdowns, 17 interceptions, with about close to about 1,500 yards difference, because I think we had a total about 6,600 yards of offense that year in 2016.
Right.
And it dropped down to about 3,900. Passing offense.
With basically the same offensive players.
Same players.
All right, the players. You had both running backs. You had Julio, Sanu, little bit his name. Little dude. Used to catch the bombs.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I can't think of his name. But you had
Taylor Gabriel.
Taylor
Gabriel.
Yeah, you had all of the main characters here.
Right.
And then you went back up in 2018. Now, there was a difference in 2018 in the points scored.
Right.
If I'm not mistaken.
We scored a lot of points in 18. Matt Daniel threw for 5,000 yards in 18. That was the year Julio didn't catch a touchdown till wait a minute, or was that 19? That might have been 19 for that. But in 18, the 18 year, no, it was 18. That was the year Julio had like Daniel 1,000 yards, but only had one touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
And then he caught the touchdown against at that time the Redskins, and ended up scoring 8 touchdowns for the rest of the year. Mm-hmm. The offense was nice, but then everybody got hurt. That might be the only year.
Because I think the defense was 25th,
right,
in 2018.
And that year was the only year I might have gave them a pass.
But Patrick Mahomes had 5,500 yards and 50 touchdowns that year, if I'm not mistaken.
And he got drafted early, and he sat on the bench. Case
under Alex Smith. Close that case. Close that case.
Toya, how you doing, Toya? Good to see you. Hope you're going to join us this year. Hope you join us tomorrow for the Jets game. Is it a coincidence when Freeney left that the Beasley production went down the drain? I don't think so. I think it is. Listen, now you talk about fluke. Toya has come across a fluke.
Okay. All right. I give you that.
Yeah.
But let me put some pepper in that soup.
Okay.
Didn't they move him to linebacker?
Yeah, they did. Okay. Yeah, they did. They did kind of switch. I'm going to say this again, and I wish I had the tape. Go back and look. 2016, LA Rams. Jeff Fisher's last game as an LA Ram. Falcons defeated them like 48-10. 48-13. Vic Beasley sacks Jared Goff, picks up the fumble, runs it in for a touchdown. On that play, he goes up for a slam, a la Tony Gonzalez,
and misses.
And no, he never got up there. He went up, and I'm going to pull it up.
Because I remember that. I thought he had missed it. No,
he reached up and immediately came down. You ever see people when they separate their shoulder and they all of a sudden they lay down? Exactly. Yeah. Go back and look at that play. Anybody that wants to see that play there ended Vic's changed the trajectory of his career. He had the shoulder surgery. Remember, nobody talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
He was hurt. And look at his production from that game all the way to the Super Bowl. Grady was getting sacks later on.
Mm-hmm.
Hagelman even got a couple of sacks in the later games. Freeney was still getting sacks in the later games. Vic was hurt. And I think ever since then, he was never the same. I know he had a year later on. I think he ended up with 6 on one of the years, but he was never the same after that. But you're right. You're spot on, Toya. You're absolutely right. Shen says, I wanted LaFleur as our OC. Shen also says, Matt is 8th all-time in passing yards. He is 7th in the most fourth-quarter comebacks in NFL history with one regular season. Matt Ryan, 4,000 to 4,500 yards. He will be 6th all-time after this season with the Colts. In 15 years, he would have just passed Phillip Rivers and Big Ben. Both played 20 years. So in less years, Matt would have passed 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks. Y'all better put some respect on his name. Shed, I want to apologize for the lack of respect that I'm giving to Matt. I want to get some tissue.
No, you need a drink. That's what you don't need. Cause see,
man, ain't nobody paying attention to all that mess, man. Come on, bro.
See, look.
And let me clarify.
Go
There's a difference between respect for what Matt Ryan did. Matt Ryan played 14 years, missed 3 games. I hear you. You can miss me with every yard category in here. Phillip Rivers don't even need to be mentioned. Big Ben got a couple of rings. Big Ben made several playoff appearances. I can't be whitewashed, or whitewash is the wrong word. I can't be blinded by some stats. Stats don't mean anything, man. You got to win these games. And it's not just him. It's not just Matt. You need 53 players and need 24 of them to be really good. So I'm not trying to tell you it's all his fault. But bruh, come on, man. You can't live on that. I know you. I'm sorry. Go ahead, because I know you ready to respond to that. I'm sorry. I see. Now this is the reason why y'all make me mad. I'll come on here with this man and try to have a good conversation. Then y'all gonna come up here and bring all these flowers for Matt Ryan, knowing that he gonna go off on y'all. So y'all gonna take this. Y'all gonna take this one right here.
You earned this.
Y'all deserve this one.
I give Matt Ryan respect. I always give him respect.
Absolutely.
However, these yardage stats, the yardage stats, the completions, all of these things, they pale in insignificance to that big strap of gold. Right around here and right around there.
Right.
See, you can have all of it, okay, you got all of these accolades. Those accolades will put you in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, they will.
But who shares the Hall of Fame with a quarterback? Who shares it? Only thing I can say, well, I got a quarterback that's in the Hall of Fame. I don't have no banner hanging in my stadium saying that I have a Hall of Fame quarterback.
You got some division championships.
I got plenty of those. But those are team awards.
This is true.
I want team awards because it reflects on the city. It reflects on the city.
Right.
Because the team won this with Matt Ryan at the helm. Matt Ryan, Super Bowl. Matt Ryan could have been MVP of the Super Bowl. Okay, he could have been MVP of the Super Bowl. He was already MVP of the league. Okay. What shine does the Atlanta Falcons?
Awesome playoff.
Okay, what shine does the Atlanta Falcons team get from Matt Ryan being MVP of the league? None.
Playing cards.
That's it. What are those tokens you used to get?
City.
Shoot, man, no. I mean.
Matter of fact, put it in perspective. The Atlanta Braves, for decades, played runner-up, stepchild, forgiving all the stepchildren out there, to the rest of the league. They won that World Series last year. How much not only respect, how much credibility does Freddie Freeman, Ozzie Albies, Ronald, well, even though Ronald played half the season, I mean, all Max Fried, they're set for life. Matt Fried have 5 more good seasons, he's going to be a Hall of Fame. Freddie Freeman's already there. Ronald Acuna have 4 more seasons, he's there. Ozzie, 4 more seasons, he's there. That's credibility. That's weight. Matt Ryan, this is great. 4,000 yards for 9 straight seasons. Outstanding for fantasy players, fantasy football players.
Yeah.
But right now, I'm sorry, that's not the. And I'm here to tell you, don't be shocked if he don't get in the first time.
Because there are people talking right now. That Super Bowl may keep Matt Ryan out of first ballot Hall of Fame contention because, see, I've heard writers, and it's not me.
I'm going to put you on the spot real quick.
Not me. I'm not the one saying
spot. As somebody who's been keep it real about Matt. Matt wins the Super Bowl. Is he in the Hall of Fame?
Automatic.
Okay. All right. So
automatically.
So that lets you know he got heart.
Automatically. Because
that lets you know.
Because see, now, when Matt Ryan won the NFC Championship game,
right,
I posted in the Bird Game group, you are now the best quarterback in Atlanta Falcons franchise history.
Sure.
Because you eclipse Chris Chandler. You eclipse Chris Chandler.
That was a joke.
You know. No, I'm talking about for real. Because Chris Chandler was the one that got us down to the Super Bowl. He was the first Falcon quarterback to get us to the Super Bowl.
True.
So I
think you get a lot more credit to Jam that year.
Yeah, well, Jamal Anderson,
1,900 yards. That's a whole different.
But
a whole different.
But the heart that Chris Chandler showed in that NFC Championship game, when we were down,
he was broke. We put the barge in there for a minute. The barge. I'm talking about El DeBarge. Steve DeBird. Was it the Frisco game? The game before that?
Might have been the Frisco game. Might have been the Frisco game.
Yeah.
But see, the thing was, you up in enemy territory in Minnesota.
Right.
We behind.
Right.
Morton Anderson misses that field goal. What's it? Gary Anderson misses that field goal. Door open. Yeah. You march the team down there and throw that touchdown, that bullet to Terrence Mathis in the end zone. Overtime.
And it's an argument that could, and they had to drive back down to throw that.
And they had to drive back down to kick the field goal.
That's actually for anybody.
See, we had to tie it up to get into overtime.
I can't even argue.
I said, man, come on. I can't even
argue with that.
And see, the thing is that Matt Ryan, just like I was saying last year,
mm-hmm.
a lot of those stats were padded because you coming from behind because you messed up.
Hold on. He coming from behind. Didn't he just educate you?
Yeah.
He's the 7th most comeback
reported. Right. And I agree with him when they said it because I knew how you came back. It was sometimes your fault.
Hold on. What it does show is how many of them he did come back.
Yeah,
I want to see the record of how many he missed because I can think of Chicago, Dallas, and a couple of them.
Yeah,
which it wasn't all his fault.
And see now, I can't blame the Dallas game on it.
Nah, you can't.
Because
I blame Julio. I blame Julio on that.
Yeah, Julio and everybody else. I mean, now y'all supposed to know the rules, man.
Tidy says 2011 was Burner's last great year. He fell off in 2012. Yeah, 2012. And then remember that was also in 2012 the year he had the little DUI thing too. So
he was in that NFC Championship game.
Oh no, he was there, but he wasn't doing nothing though. He was. He was okay, but he was not the player he was.
No, he wasn't.
Because
he was not have a fullback in front. They were running him out of a one-back set. And Michael Turner has always run out of a two-back set.
That's because Dirk was trying to put that extra receiver on the field. And it goes back to what we were talking about.
I mean,
with opening up. So and you're right. When Obi was there, that was a whole different.
That was a whole different running game.
That was
a whole different running game. Turner had 1,800 doggone yards.
Turner was a bad boy, man.
You know,
he's better than Devonta Freeman. I know that.
Rusty
says, well, KP might not have been the worst pick because what I seen, if Dez last week against the Lions is equivalent, if not better, than anything I've seen from Fields or Lance last year. This new scouting department might be legit, aside of the brain lapse of Jalen Mayfield. And again, the for a draft, I think you have to wait at least 3.
I'd say about 3 years.
3 years. Because who's been on our radar for busts lately? Marlon Davidson. McGarry. Right.
And Lindstrom.
Right.
Now, Lindstrom is holding
No. Lindstrom about to get paid.
Yeah.
Lindstrom about to make big money.
Well, see, look at this. If you got a brick wall Lindstrom,
right,
and you got a shower curtain McGarry.
They claiming he's doing a little better this year, though.
Okay.
Again,
now
we gonna see.
Now he looked like Bane from Batman because he done swole.
And I'm gonna tell you what, at that practice, I didn't even recognize him.
Yeah, he done swole up.
Oh, McGarry, I don't know if he can stop anybody like he did last year, but
yeah, I saw his arm. He
is huge. Lindstrom actually put on some weight too. Lindstrom, big boy too. But no, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Now, as long as that oil pump some oil through them new muscles, he gonna be all right. But that's just scary to me.
Shin says winning a Super Bowl is a team game, and we have never had the full team to win a Super Bowl. John, hold on, because he said John. He didn't say Steve this time. He said, John, you hate Matt, but can't deny that the only reason he went to the Super Bowl was off of Matt's arm and the brilliant play calling of Kyle Shanahan. If Matt had a top 10 defense, God dog it, we would have won several Super Bowls. So what you got to say about that, Johnny Cochran?
How did New Orleans win a Super Bowl? And New Orleans as well as New England with defenses in the 20th ranks.
Right.
Okay, all right, and you're right. After Kyle Shanahan showed Matt Ryan just how bad he was and kept his foot in his behind, then Matt Ryan showed out in the Super Bowl. Come on, man. That was easy. I mean, I used 1.6 brain cells to even come up with that. I spent more brain cells talking about it than thinking about it.
Shane, I'm gonna tell you right now, Shane, you wasting valuable time trying to get through about Matt Ryan to this cat.
I'm just
right
saying.
Here. you wasted time.
I'm just saying. I mean, I know it's a team. We know it's a team game.
And it's funny you say that because he follows up. Shin says, so y'all telling me football isn't the ultimate team sport. Y'all are putting the entire blame on me. No.
I didn't do that.
I did not say there has never been one time today where I said this was entirely Matt's fault. If that Super Bowl had a top 15 defense, we would have won that Super Bowl. Matt Ryan is the Dan Marino of his generation. I just threw up in my throat.
I smell it.
Because
I'm getting the same.
Did you say Matt Ryan is the Dan Marino of his generation? Not a strong arm. Yeah, you definitely need to. Not a strong arm like Dan, but all the yards and the MVP with no title. Let's be fair right now. And let's go back for us. Name the equivalent, probably for us 80s, 80s, 90s, who is the equivalent quarterback for Matt Ryan? And here's the one thing that y'all have to remember too. Offense didn't throw balls like that. 4,000-yard seasons, they didn't exist except Dan Fouts. Folks weren't throwing balls like that.
And when those two met, it was must-watch TV.
Yeah,
when
absolutely.
Dan Fouts and
Absolutely.
Dan Marino met,
and Dan Marino, which by the way I think is tons greater than Matt Ryan, and you talk about somebody who, yes, that defensive category where you say didn't have a top 10 defense. The 1 year Marino, was that his rookie year or second year when they played Frisco? Frisco just waxed them. With Frisco beat them like 40-something to 20-something.
I think it was it 7 years?
That was when they had Duper and Clayton
Duper
and I can't remember the boy, the running back, but they were real good. But
they never used running back.
But name the closest equivalent quarterback. Dan Marino is an all-time great. I can't compare Matt to an all-time great, and I'm just being real. Who?
Surprisingly,
Okay.
Chicago had the number 1 offense.
Jim McMahon.
Mm-hmm. In 85, Chicago had the number 1 offense in the league.
Yeah.
And I think they had the number 1 defense too.
Yeah.
Number 1, number 2 defense in the league. And the thing is that, okay, now wait a minute. What are you asking me? You're asking me someone from the 80s.
Equivalent from the 80s or 90s to Matt Ryan. Who is the Matt Ryan of the and that's a hard one. Because see, you threw Dan Marino out there. Dan Marino was a great quarterback. And I'm not saying Matt Ryan isn't. And I'm not denying the team sport thing. So
but just
that
like
I'm not saying, but
just like you said, when Dan Marino was quarterbacking, when Dan Marino was quarterbacking, you paid quarterbacks and you paid running backs.
Yeah, that's true.
Those were the 2 highest draft picks that you always would get in the 80s.
Right.
Right. Well, from starting about the 60s, 70s, whatever.
Yeah.
That's what you would get.
Yeah.
All right. Nobody was throwing, like you said, nobody was throwing for 4,000 yards.
Mm-hmm.
But look, the years that Matt Ryan was throwing for 4,000 yards, you had at least 10 to 11 quarterbacks throwing for $4,000 a year.
Right.
Okay. So 4,000 yards was not a astronomically high number of yards to throw for.
And
not during that time.
And think about it. Your point made me think about something. Matt Ryan had his first 5 years of winning seasons. He didn't start throwing for 4,000 yards till year 4.
Mm-hmm. Because Mike Mularkey
kept
thing was, didn't Mike Mularkey was gone.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That was dirt up by then. Cutter threw the ball.
Yeah, because he was running that Air Coryell offense. But Mike Mularkey, he was running the same offense he was running up in Pittsburgh with Slash. Right.
With Cordell. Yep.
With Cordell Patterson, Cordell Stewart. But my thing
what did I say? Patterson.
No, I said Patterson.
Okay.
You said Cordell. But my thing is that, okay, 4,000 yards ain't nothing now. The league is open. Yeah. It's wide open. The passing game. If you can pass the ball, you can win a Super Bowl.
Right.
Okay. Running the ball now is to throw the dogs off the scent. That's all it is. Throw the dogs off the scent instead of the other way around.
We had way more 1,000-yard runners, or I'd even say 1,000-yard runners. The mark used to be like 4 yards a carry.
Mm-hmm.
Runner to get 4 yards to carry. That was a bigger deal then. And I think Matt is a really good quarterback. I think Matt had a couple of spots in his career where he was one of the top 5, especially 2016. Maybe 2012. but especially 2006. 2016, I think only Brady, honestly, was close. And Brady was in trouble because of that was the year he
was that Deflategate?
Was that Deflategate when he lost the 4 games? Yeah, he was suspended 4 games or 2 games. That was the year he was suspended. The year he won the Super Bowl, he was suspended that year.
Because Garoppolo came in for him, right?
Right.
Garoppolo came in for him.
Yeah, I think so.
I can't remember.
4 years. Let's see. I know Matt won't get in until 10 years after he was available.
Talking about the Hall of Fame.
He'll be in earlier than that, but I don't think he's
going to take that long.
Ricky says, until Matt Ryan wins the Super Bowl, he'll always be known by the Super Bowl loss. Even in the year Matt won the MVP, he went to the Super Bowl. He only made it to the number 10. Yeah, and I remember that. And, and I remember people were talking about that too.
Because, see, and year before last,
right?
Year before last, you remember when Julio made it and he had missed 7 games and Matt Ryan didn't even make the list.
Julio's like number 3, right?
No. He was number 3 when Matt Ryan made the list lower.
That was the next year.
But the very next year.
Okay. After that.
Like I said, year before last, Julio made the top 100 even after missing 7 games. And this is what I was trying to tell people. Now you see what the rest of the league is thinking about your quarterback, especially the people playing, the people that are interviewing.
Your peer set.
Yeah, your peer set is saying that Julio is good in spite of, not because of.
Right. Shin says Matt won't get first ballot because of the Super Bowl loss for sure. He actually will be held out longer than T.O. I don't think so. I don't know. We'll see, in my opinion, just because of the Super Bowl loss. But he will make it. I will always say if we had a middle-of-the-road defense in Super Bowl year, we would have won easy. Actually, from week 8 on in, we did have one of the top. And from week 8 on in. But when you're averaging 35 points a game, you don't need to be that great. Okay, so the great Aaron Rodgers won the fluke Super Bowl, and has choked away the rest of his career. Choke. But Aaron has had a better defensive team and offensive line. And slow down on the offensive lines. He hadn't had that great. Not that great. Not that great.
But see, okay. Look at what Aaron Rodgers brought to the quarterback team.
He said, hold on, he want to finish that. Man, I can't believe how smart of football guys to two guys are to ignore the facts on how piss poor Dimitrov did to complete this team. Now, you ain't gonna get an argument with me that there were some mistakes made from Dimitrov along the way. I think the argument with Matt Ryan, listen, I'm not gonna put 100% blame on what he's done, on what he was in his career. I will say that when you compare Aaron Rodgers, now I'm gonna pull up his just while we sitting here. And Rodgers. And I'm not bringing up his stats really for his numbers, but I am bringing it up to show the number of times that cat has been in the postseason. Okay, so let's go back to sharing this screen, Jay. Take this off so people can see. Share. So let's go back. Let's look at this and take this off. So when I keep hearing choke, which is in some cases may be valid, he won the Super Bowl in 2010. He went back to the playoffs in 11, lost in 12, and 13, and 14, and 15, and 19, and 20,
and 16 too now,
and 20. I said 16, and 21. I'm sorry. I hear you. when you saying choke. Those 10 losses, when you lose in the postseason, that means you lost 10 times. I get it. But at least he been 10 times to lose. And it's 11 because he went undefeated the Super Bowl year. You
look below that of the NFL records that they enumerate. Just scroll down.
Okay, scroll down a little bit. And listen to these records, this cat. Most consecutive seasons with a passer rating over 100. Most consecutive seasons with 35 touchdowns. Most consecutive, these are NFL records. Most seasons with 40 touchdowns passing. Most seasons with 45 touchdowns passing. Most consecutive pass attempts without an interception. Most passing yards in their first 5 years. Fewest attempts to get to 35. I mean, I'm losing my breath. So my point is, when I hear the comparison, it's really not much of a comparison, y'all. It's really not.
Because he put himself and his team in a position to win. Might not have finished the drill.
Right.
Might not have finished the drill.
Right.
But up until 2016, Matt Ryan had a losing playoff record.
He was a loser.
He had a losing playoff record. Now, my thing is that when you get to the Super Bowl, just like I say with anybody else, when you get to the Super Bowl, you got to leave it all out there on the field. And I was not impressed that Matt Ryan did that. I wasn't impressed that the Falcons team did that. It's the coaching staff. Right. But it starts on the field with that quarterback. Okay?
Right.
When you know, there are times where you have to make a decision on the field and take the heat for it. Matt Ryan deferred. That was my only problem with it. You deferred to the coach. Well, okay, I always quote what State Shapiro and Brian Finneran was saying right after that Super Bowl. They said that Matt Ryan walking up and down the sidelines talking about we should be running the ball. They asked Matt, well, Matt, why didn't you call the audible? Why didn't you do that? I always obey my coaches. And see that they got it.
But again, it's almost like the habitual line stepper. You got the Aaron Rodgers and the Brett Favres that probably were line steppers. Mm-hmm. And when they made decisions and it worked, it looked good. Brett Favre also made a lot of decisions that didn't work.
Yeah, he was a gunslinger. He was a gunslinger.
You know,
and see at that time in the Super Bowl, that was a time where you didn't have to do anything with the fall down, right?
But he was following the rule, brother. I don't have a problem with anybody that followed the rule. What did Dan Marino do besides throw for a lot of yards? Did he make another Super Bowl outside his rookie season? No, and he put up a lot of useless yards. Like you said, Matt did. Okay. All I'm gonna do with that one. That's what I was just about to say. Again, you're talking about Dan Marino was slinging it like nobody was slinging it during his era. Even Joe Montana only had a 1 or 2 4,000-yard seasons back then. Marino was throwing that thing all the way around. They had to base that offense around him because he was so great. Dan Marino was a different player, man. And I mean, if you're honestly going to sit here and compare Dan Marino to Matt Ryan and try to say Matt Ryan is the equivalent of Dan Marino, I don't know what to tell you.
Well, see,
I honestly don't know.
I'm going to say this. And I use this all the time. You're a defensive coordinator, Steve. Mm-hmm. Who are you most scared of on Sunday between Dan Marino and Because, see, we had to ask that question about the Falcons. Who you most scared of, Matt Ryan or Julio? Who you most scared of?
So you asked the perfect question. So I don't even think. Do you think you'll get more than out of 10 people? Do you get more than 2 to say Matt Ryan?
Drunk. Alcoholics.
Clayton said, y'all watching the Good Old Days featuring Unc and Father John. Wow, really? Hey, that might be good. Good Old Days. Season 1, episode 1.
Oh, this is that 2-parter.
Right.
This is a big 2-part show.
So Big Ben is older than Matt and played 20 years, but in their same era of football. And Matt, dude, I'm sorry, man. You're not going to win it. You can't even put Big Ben name in it.
Big Ben got rings. When
you can't do that, man.
Look, I keep telling people.
So let me make it clear that I'm not trying to tell you Nick Foles, Trent Dilfer, what other quarterback that looked up and got Joe. I ain't even trying to take Joe Flacco. I'm not trying to tell you that, but if you
Joe Flacco
seriously
had a on postseason,
right? Yes, he did. But and some people will put him ahead of Matt for that. Some people will. I don't think the average player will. But if you go down the line, brother, I'm sorry. You can down that Matt Ryan cross if you want to, but the rest of the real world will always put Matt as a good quarterback.
Good. They'll put him as a
good quarterback. And good quarterbacks usually don't make it in the Hall of Fame. Usually. I think he has because of his durability and his long term, that could play a part, right?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Depending upon who's going in the class against him. Because the thing is that okay. And this just means that.
Mm-hmm.
You use stats to justify your selection.
Okay.
When you're nominating somebody for the Hall of Fame,
most of the time.
Okay, especially when it gets close.
Right.
When it's two people that, I want to put him in. Well, I want to put him in. Okay, when the discussion takes place, what did he do? What's the first thing?
23.
How many doggone championships you got?
True.
Championships is the first qualifier, if I'm not mistaken.
Did he lead? Not win it by himself. Did he lead? Joe Flacco does have that over him.
Mm-hmm.
He led his team to a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So I give him that.
And that's why, Hall of Fame recognition versus Super Bowl recognition. I always go with Super Bowl recognition because you can't argue with that. There's no argument. You went out and beat the team that you were against in order to win the Super Bowl and get the trophy. It's over.
Let me ask you another one that always bothers me too. I hear a lot of people say Eli Manning, first ballot.
No,
that's interesting.
I would say
first ballot. You know why I also think he's first ballot? You know why I think he's first ballot too? 2 times he went up against the champ.
And
two times.
You know what?
Two times.
Steve, you're right.
He went up against Thanos.
Yeah.
And won.
And that last time he went up against Thanos, they had a perfect regular season.
Absolutely.
Now
they were.
I got
18-0.
I got to give you that.
Thanos was this close to snapping his fingers.
Mm-hmm. I got to give you that.
And he pulled that glove off for a second time.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't give Eli first ballot for anything, he gets in for that.
Mm-hmm.
For anything. I don't understand why people don't. And it was I was piggybacking off what you were saying. The yards and everything for Eli. Eli, I think, overall doesn't have a winning record as a quarterback. I don't think he does. If I'm not mistaken.
You might be right.
And
I never thought about it.
Yeah, I don't think he does.
Because the only thing we remember is what he did in the Super Bowl.
When you say Eli Manning, aside of the first thing you say is Peyton's brother, the second thing you're going to say is he beat Tom Brady twice.
He beat Tom Brady
twice.
Yeah.
And was good and was instrumental in beating him. It wasn't like
it wasn't like 2 clutch throws.
2 times.
2 times.
2 great catches.
2 great catches. But
he
put it on
the ball in his hands.
And that one he threw to who was that on the side?
Manningham.
That one he dropped in there. Just like Jerry Glanville used to do with Billy Joe Tolliver with that garbage can on the end of the thing. He dropped that thing down in there.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So yeah. You don't change my mind on something.
Ricky said, "No, I don't think he'll be that long to get in the Hall of Fame. Probably within 4 years." I'm gonna tell you who's gonna be the barometer for Matt. Phillip Rivers, because Phillip Rivers to me is as close to a contemporary to Matt as you're gonna have. A lot of yards. He doesn't have an MVP. But it'll be interesting to see. If they put Phillip Rivers in on the first ballot, Matt is automatically in first ballot. If they do. Because his credentials, Phillip Rivers' credentials don't match Matt Ryan's. As far as winning, as far as an MVP, and a Super Bowl, at least win.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the barometer to me. Wallace says that top 100 is all political, and yes, the players may vote, but they don't put them in the order they get. Well, the whole
thing is political. Yeah. Every time you vote,
players have favorites.
Yeah,
players have favorites. They got boys. They got guys that they feel. Perfect example when he was talking about Matt Ryan and Julio Jones. During that space, Matt Ryan was the best player on the Falcons team. I know there are people that's going to say it was Julio. Matt Ryan was balling in 16. There was no doubt. Julio was right there with him in 16. Any other year, I give Julio the best player on the team. 16? No, sir. Matt Ryan was doing everything. That was the year he spread the ball around.
Yeah, he threw to 13 different people.
So you can't sit there and say now Julio might have been the best athlete, but overall,
But see, this is the thing. Now, looking at Julio, looking at Matt Ryan, who had to do the most work in 2016 in order to get to where they got?
Yeah,
Matt Ryan had to do that. Now, Julio had quote unquote natural talent and was ready. But Matt Ryan had to be broken down and built back up.
Yes, sir.
In order to be the Matt Ryan that was there in 2016. And the other portion of this is that why didn't Matt Ryan continue to improve after Shanahan left? Because the people that replaced him.
Thank you, Tori. Thank you, Tori. 118.
Ooh-wee.
That's deep.
That's 50%.
That's deep. That's 50%. And so again, that looks ugly until you mention
them Super
Bowls. And if memory serves me correctly, weren't they wild card team? They didn't win the division when they won those Super Bowls. I think they were wild card team.
I know the first
one of them was definitely a wild card.
I know the first one. They did the wild card road.
Yeah, because they were on the road the whole time. So that's
they were road war, man.
I'm skipping through. I happened to see her go through the thing. I saw Toya go through that. Thank you, Toya. I appreciate that. First one was a wild card. That was Clayton. Clayton, I see your stuff down here, brother. I'm trying to catch back up with some of these comments. Aaron is the most gifted quarterback skill-wise I've ever seen. I'm trying to see who that is that said that. But go back there. I cannot see, but yeah, I'm going to just read some of these off. But he choked away a lot outside of one fluke Super Bowl. I know that's got to be Shin. And I hear you, Shin. And the argument, listen, your argument has some validity in some places. But yeah, again, you're making comparisons against generational quarterbacks. You can't put Matt in a conversation with Aaron Rodgers and be taken seriously. You can't put him in a conversation with Dan Marino and be taken seriously. Hey, you can't even put him in a conversation with Eli Manning and be taken seriously. As far as Eli finishing the job, you can't. I mean, you can if it makes you feel good, but I don't know.
Well, you're not going to get any traction with it.
No, you're not.
You're not going to get any traction with it.
Yeah,
because
you can argue it, and
because the thing is that 28-3 is an albatross. I mean, a millstone that he's going to have to carry because see. The first thing they don't say that the defense chose, and then on top of that, they said that it was 25 unanswered points.
You just said something that's so unfair to the quarterback position. The quarterback will always get
just like pitching baseball. Pitching baseball.
Yeah,
I mean,
will always get
played. Losing
always.
Yeah.
Poor Charlie. Lee Brandt, it's gonna get Mark Wohlers for the Braves will always be known to be
Charlie Lee Brandt. Now see that's Bobby Cox. Boy, every time I think about that, man, you had Pena on the bench.
Shen said, "I'm sorry for posting so much."
Oh man, hey,
let me tell you something. Shen.
Ain't no problem.
As you can see. There's never gonna be a shortage of opinion.
No,
brother. I'd rather you keep rolling and keep conversation going like Clayton.
Shit, hold on. Shit, why don't you come on in here?
Shit,
instead of you wearing your fingers out, come on in.
I'm about to say,
don't be scared. Look, Shit, it's just family talking. It's just family talking. You wearing your fingers out. And see, the thing is, it's easier on you because as soon as I say something, you can say something back. We have a conversation.
Right.
That's why I do it.
I am never
100%. Man.
I am never
come on in.
100% right unless I'm debating him. I am never 100%. Wallace says, and that's why I say the top 100 is political. And just in 2016, Matt Ryan was not the number one player that year after being big. And
but you remember when Matt Ryan, when they were debating as to whether Matt Ryan was MVP worthy,
right?
There was a whole bunch of doggone conversation.
Right.
Whenever a vote has to take place,
right,
and your record and the stats are not the criteria, and you have to vote. Man, it's gonna always be political. Who do I like? Who do I want? It's gonna always be like
always. And that's the thing. I'm gonna go back to Clayton. Clayton was going back and we'll get it.
Shen is asking, can I call?
Oh, you know what? And I'm gonna tell you why. And I'm gonna tell you the only reason why. Shen, my phone works, but I'm gonna show you to see if you can see. I unplugged it I unplugged the other phone in there, and I still have my phone number. And we're gonna start taking calls.
When you like come in on Facebook,
well, he might not be able to come in on Facebook. But that being said, I am gonna put the phone back in, and we're gonna get everybody to start calling back in. Because, matter of fact, I'm gonna throw it down here on the ticker just in case y'all forgot the number. But that's gonna be the number. That's gonna be the number right there. So yeah, y'all be looking out for that. We're gonna have the number started back up. Gonna have y'all coming back in on camera. We're gonna get all that started back up when the regular season starts after that. So trust me. Yeah, I can't. I don't know about you, and I know sometimes it's easier to discuss when you might have differences in sports as opposed to agreeing with somebody about everything. So trust me, we're gonna get everything hooked back up, and then we'll start calling. So trust me, we're gonna come back in. Wallace, Now, YouTube is a whole different thing, and I appreciate y'all listening to me on Uncle Steve's Lounge on YouTube. I have to see how I can get you on there. I might have to go on YouTube and send you a link. And let me see if I can send you a link real quick, Wallace. Shan says this is just some healthy man, dude. We live. Let me tell you something. The conversation you having, me and him do all the time. All the time. I can't even tell you how much post office time he has wasted talking sports to me when I was probably at home chilling and not working.
That ought to just about seal my career. Yeah, that ought to do it. I guess I never will go back to work. I think they just about got it.
Everybody, that's about got it.
That about got that.
But listen, because I just realized we just hit the 3-hour mark, so we gonna probably let y'all roll. So listen, this is what I want everybody to do tomorrow. We're gonna have the watch party. Tidy's gonna be hosting the watch party tomorrow in the Atlanta Bird Gang area. In Atlanta Bird Gang, I'm gonna try to see if I can get that. If I can try to hook that up through YouTube and get on Uncle Steve's Lounge, because I know Tidy is awesome at doing these things, and we're gonna have Antoine Smithy Smith from Sports Machine. He's gonna be joining us tomorrow. We're gonna just do the first half of the game, so chop it up with us, get you something to drink, maybe even a little harder than this or whatever. And hopefully we get a chance to evaluate some of the guys tomorrow. What do you look forward to tomorrow? Just seeing during the game, who do you think you're gonna look forward to?
I want to see what Ritter's gonna look like tomorrow. Okay. I definitely want to see that. And in talking about that, I think we need to get us. Well, we only have one more preseason game left after this one, because I was about to say we need another quarterback.
Well, I think that's what they have Felipe for. I think Felipe is going to be that emergency quarterback. He was at the practice we had. He took the very last snaps. It's clear that he's going to be tight end. We might see him possibly at the end. Because this is what I'm suggesting. And I thank you, Wallace. I see you out there. Thank you very much, and I appreciate it, Wallace. I'm gonna try to see if I can kind of get the stream to come in on Facebook. So we're gonna try to figure that out. Shan says it's the watch party game thread, so we can talk. Not only are we gonna talk during the game, you're gonna see us during the game as well. So we're gonna have a watch party actually. So yeah, Shan, get in there. You'll be able to talk. We'll be able to come in. We'll have people coming in and out. That's how we're going to do it tomorrow. So definitely look forward to you coming in, man. Definitely coming in. Clayton says some people do live during the game to cover up the game to show. Yeah, well, this is kind of what that's going to be. It's kind of like a live reaction show, because obviously you can't show the game on TV. You can't show the television. So what we do is we watch and we discuss as it goes, and people chime in on everything.
And be prepared, because some people's satellite or cable system has a delay.
Yeah.
You know, I might be over here, touchdown. It's right. What happened? What's going on? You know, and
that happened a lot during the draft.
Shoot, that happened with that old AT&T you be bragging about. My bedroom I had a touchdown, and the extra point being played in the living room. I said I paid the same amount for this.
Hey man, look, hopefully we'll get that together. But I know tomorrow will be really good. And I'm gonna just talk to Tidy, just make sure we got all the connections straight up. But go look, and if you're in the Atlanta Bird game, Wallace, just stay where you are on YouTube tomorrow. I think the game is at 8 o'clock. I think it starts at 8. So just look for me at 8 o'clock. We'll be on there, and we'll be chopping it up. As he said, I think one of the things at the quarterback position, if Mariota comes in and gives us a clean first quarter,
you get a touchdown or a field goal,
do you play him in game 3? And the reason why
I would say one series,
maybe one series.
One series.
The only reason I put that out, there's going to be a bye after the third game anyway. So in other words, we play the third preseason game,
and then
you have a bye
because we play on
September 11th. Okay, I'm trying to get this right so I can be accurate. Here it is. Where is it? Yeah, I know it is big. You think I'll be reading all this stuff, man? All right, so we play. They don't even say what day it is. I'm pretty sure. When is that Jacksonville game, y'all? Let me look at my.
Why they got?
Yeah, because they didn't know at the time
okay.
when they did the schedule that
what day
it was actually going to be. So, man, it's tickets. Okay, the Jaguar game is next Saturday. So next Saturday, after next Saturday, there's going to be a bye week the next week, and then.
So we're playing twice in the same week?
Yeah, we play the Jets. That's why I say with Mariota, if he does good work in the first quarter or so, you don't throw him back in there less than. Cause look, that's less than, and that's a Saturday.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying?
That's 6 days.
So that's my point. So if I see enough out of Mariota in the first quarter where maybe he puts 10 points up, I think I let Ritter get his work in.
Well, it'll be Ritter and Frank.
Because again, they play next Saturday. So I'm not sure I'll put my potential starting quarterback out there in 5 days. Because your bones don't heal like that in 5 days, right?
Plus the fact our bye is in week 14.
That's true. So we don't get a break after this. So that's
about the distance between Beaumont and El Paso, Texas, man.
Beaumont.
I mean, that's woo.
The I-20, man.
That's
dude. You go on I-20 on the highway. That is awesome.
No. That I-10 down there at the bottom where I-20 run into and ends from Louisiana all the way to New Mexico, man. I mean, that's woo.
That's a lot.
And see, I've always had this idea. And I've been trying to tout it to people who can understand at the league office or whatever. Since you got 17 weeks now,
right?
You need to seal off week 8 and 9.
Right.
Half the league play, half the league rest. Then the next week, half the league, the other half that rested plays, and the league that part of it that played the previous week, you rest that week. Then everybody starts off. That everybody has a bye week toward the middle of the season. And see, now you can, you're going to have 16 teams playing in both of those weeks.
That's true.
And have 16 teams resting. You can go all across the league, conference, whatever. But everybody needs to have bye weeks at the same time. Because, see, this with folk having bye weeks from week 4 all the way to 14 is ridiculous, man.
Yeah, Wallace kind of agrees. Says no, we should not play our starters in the last preseason game because we should only play the other players to evaluate them basic roster. And the great point about that is we just cut to 85. I think it was the other day. It's going to be a cut Monday after Monday. That we're going to do as well. So Wallace has a good point. I think if I see enough out of Mariota to know, he's ready. He's ready. He's going to be ready for the Saints. Get him out there. Let him do that thing until maybe the next game. It's all on Ritter. Yeah, it's all on Ritter. Let him get the experience. Let him get the time, and let him do that. Absolutely, Wallace. Brother, it's almost 8:00, man. It has been awesome. You are the man. Appreciate you. All of you that know us. We appreciate y'all. Been doing this for a quick second with him. I'm pretty sure this ain't gonna be the last time because he can't stay out of trouble with Facebook. So I know we'll be doing this later on this year because he gonna mess up somewhere along the line. But until then, man, Atlanta Bird Gang, Uncle Steve's Lounge. Don't forget, subscribe, tell your friends, tell everybody we're gonna be good this year, man. We're gonna get it on. Y'all be good. Take care. Peace. Y'all be good. Good job.